It's showtime under the Friday Knights of Las Vegas. A title elimination game for the Mountain West Championship. The Ninth Island Showdown between the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the UNLV Rebels. Welcome inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. Both teams coming in at the top of the Mountain West, second and fourth. They're tied in a five-way tie for second place right now. Everyone falls behind San Diego State, who is first, and that's a team Hawaii beat 38-6 2 weeks ago. Fresh off a bye week, a big game here tonight to decide who's still going to be in the hunt for a berth in the Mountain West Championship game and who's kicking rocks and saying goodbye.
Absolutely, Ryan. And if you're looking at this game and what we have at stake for both of these teams, a berth to be able to go to that Mountain West Championship and face off against an opponent and have a big-time matchup to potentially not only win the Mountain West, but be in the college football playoff rankings. This is a big-time matchup, and it's going to be featuring guys on both sides who are born and bred here in Las Vegas, and most specifically for Hawaii, and that starts with quarterback Michael Alejado.
And let's start there. One of the superstars for the Rainbow Warriors. Over 2,300 yards throughout the season, 18 passing touchdowns, which is tied first in the Mountain West with who? Anthony Calandria on the other side. He's facing another superstar, over 2,500 passing yards, 18 total passing touchdowns, and over 500 rushing yards as well. Both these guys are absolutely stellar. What do you like about each of their games?
For starters, I mean, obviously they're going to be on the way, so I'm going to start with Hawaii and Michael Alejado. The stats may say 5'10", 180 pounds. The guy is legitimately 5'8", 5'9" with cleats on, and is doing a great job of being the quarterback and commanding his offensive line with that stature. For him to be able to do the things that he is doing at the Division I level, it's been proven time and time again that for him, it's heart over height. Like you said, Wyatt, over 2,300 yards and 18 touchdowns on the season. He is a pure pocket passer. For guys of his size, you would think of them to be dual threat, want to run and scramble out of the pocket. No, he knows how to face adversity, take pressure, stepping up in the pocket, and consistently look for his reads downfield. The guy is a gamer, much like the dude on the opposite side of the football, Anthony Calandria. He has been absolutely phenomenal so far in the first year for Dan Mullen and the UNLV era for this team. And it's going to have to continue today if UNLV wants to walk out of Allegiant Stadium with a W in this game.
Hawaii comes into this game 7-3, 4-2 in conference play. UNLV 8-2 and 4-2 in conference play. Both teams as well scoring over 30 points per game. Absolutely lethal offensively scoring-wise. Let's take a look at two of their biggest weapons on each side. Jet Thomas, fourth in all-purpose yards in the Mountain West. And you look at the other side, Jackson Harris. I mean, you cannot talk enough and talk highly enough about a kid like this. 10 touchdowns, which is first in the Mountain West for receiving. I mean, both guys are absolute studs for their respective programs.
And for UNLV, being able to get Jet Thomas back in a game that is poised to be a shootout, you now have that element in your running game that you need to slow this game down, keep the tempo slow. If you want to play smash mouth football, you can do that now with Jet Thomas and Kevon Lee in your backfield today. And then on the other side with Jackson Harris coming off a 7-catch, 130-yard, and 3-touchdown performance. Him and Michael Alejado have absolutely been connected very well so far this season, much like we've seen with Anthony Calandria and Jaden Bradley, his #1 target for the Rebels this year.
Kansei Matsuzawa, one of the best kickers in the nation, will be kicking this one off for the Rainbow Warriors. Deep back is going to be a touchback here in the opening moments by Jaden Bradley. So bring on the Rebels, led by Anthony Calandria. 2,500 passing yards, 512 rushing, 25 total touchdowns from this guy. Absolute stud, and he's going to be leading the way for the Scarlet and Gray tonight.
And he's going to have to do so, and it's going to have to start quick. We've seen this UNLV team come off a couple of these games so far in conference play and start a little sluggish. They want to start fast against Hawaii and set the tone for how they're going to play their football game today.
Here we go. Pistol formation for the Rebels at their own 25. Trips left here. Calandria, hand off to Thomas to the right side. Now goes up the middle and will stop at the 28 for a gain of 3.
And I love that play call right there by Corey Dennis to give the ball to your star running back coming off of that game where he missed against Utah State. And it was such a big difference in that game when you have a guy like that out of your offense. But for Corey Dennis, first play of the game, simple inside zone, give it to your running back, let him get a feel for getting hit by an opponent again, and set the tempo for your offense.
They absolutely missed his presence in the last game, but it is the number 2 rushing offense in the Mountain West with over 200 yards on the ground. Play action, Calandria escapes the pressure, rolling out left, fires deep down the near sideline, looking for a player, incomplete, and a flag thrown. Intended receiver was D'Angelo Irvin.
And they're going to get right there. It's going to be pass interference on Hawai'i on this play. They did not allow D'Angelo Irvin to be able to get a play on that football, and UNLV is going to pick up a free 15 yards on that play. But all of that is due from Anthony Calandria being able to extend the play when the pocket breaks down. That's going to be something that we're going to need to see on the Hawai'i side with Micah Alejado. He is not known for his legs. He's known for being a pocket passer and taking the quick shots when they are available down the field and using quick reads. Anthony Calandria is showing why you need to be a dual threat quarterback here for the Rebels.
And the 15-yard pass interference call puts the Rebels at their own 44, and it shows how lethal this running game is, as the Rainbow Warriors are worst in the conference in rushing defense. To the left side, connects there with Nick Elksness, fighting for extra yards and brought down officially at the Hawai'i 49 for a gain of 7.
Nick Exness looking like a young Colston Loveland right there with a nice hand catch, being able to be the security blanket for Anthony Calandria on that play. They go right back to the play action pass, and he's able to keep churning, keep those legs moving, and pick up a nice pickup on first down.
Now 2nd and 3 at the Hawai'i 49. Rebels on the move. Calandria shotgun formation, handoff up the middle, fighting for a couple yards, able to get one and brought down at the Hawai'i 48, bringing up 3rd and short.
That was a great contain right there by this Warrior defense to be able to come and fill gaps. You had linebacker number 3, Jalen Smith, 6 foot, 220 pounds, being able to meet Jet Thomas in the gap and not allow him to explode to the second level. We have seen so far this year what he can do when he's able to explode and get outside.
Here we go, sets up a 3rd down here, the first one of the game. Rebels this season 44%, 4th in the Mountain West, and they pick it up by the legs of Kevon Lee up the middle, and that's going to keep this drive alive. Another first down for the Scarlet and Gray.
And Kevon Lee picking up right where he left off against Utah State, using big boy football, putting his head down, putting his shoulder down, and knowing where the line to gain was for the UNLV Rebels. And they have done a great job so far with Corey Dennis of moving the sticks and not allowing this offense to stutter out.
12:40 here in the first quarter, 1st and 10 at the Hawai'i 42. Calandria shotgun formation, play action to Lee. Looking far side, has a step, one-on-one, no good, just overthrows Jaden Bradley outside, and it's going to be 2nd down.
And that was one of the few disconnects we've seen so far with Anthony Calandria and Jaden Bradley all season. On this play, you had Jaden Bradley on the outside with man-to-man coverage, and Anthony Calandria, with that play-action pass, wanted to give his receiver a shot on first down. Unfortunately, as they were running on the field, Jaden Bradley's feet got caught up with the DB on that play, and that one's just going to be an incomplete pass for the Rebels.
So now 2nd and 10, still at the Hawai'i 42-yard line. Calandria shotgun formation, widespread offense here. Hand off to Lee off the left side, and met at the line of scrimmage. Brought down in the backfield almost by this Hawai'i defense.
And that's going to be the opposite linebacker to Jalen Smith. That's going to be Jemiah Otis, the junior linebacker, being able to meet and edge contain. He did a great job on that play of meeting the left tackle and Will Thomas and making sure that he would not get him outside of his frame. He was able to push him back inside and get the tackle on Kevon Lee.
Now sets up a 3rd and long, ball still at the 42. No gain there on 2nd down. So Calandria motions out his running back, steps into the pocket with pressure, finds a receiver. That's Reynolds across the middle on the right hash and picks up the first down. Brought down at the 29 for a gain of 13.
And that shows growth. That shows that Day-Day Reynolds has been able to take the time with Corey Dennis and have a high football IQ. On that play, what did he do? Not only was he able to come back to the football, make a strong hands catch, but he understood where the line to gain was to move the sticks for the Rebels and not allow them to just take a field goal in that scenario. Great job right there by Day-Day Reynolds for the Rebels.
The transfer from Pitt, one of the seniors celebrated tonight on senior night. Last week against Utah State, 3 catches, 14 yards, and a touchdown. Handoff here to Irvin, swallowed up behind the line for a loss of a few. and brought down by Iovino.
And right there, Giovanni Iovino has definitely been watching film. UNLV, what did they do to win the game against Utah State? It was a jet sweep to the outside with Caden McGee. And what did they do on that play? They run the same type of play in motion. D'Angelo Irvin, he takes the handoff from Anthony Calandria, and Iovino knew exactly where the ball was going. He came downhill as a linebacker and made a sure-handed tackle.
So now sets up 2nd and 11 from the Hawaii 30. 10.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. UNLV on offense. Calandria, pressure, rolls out right, near sideline, incomplete pass intended for Reynolds there.
Wyatt, when you're looking at a guy like Ant-Man, the play is never dead until you say die. This dude is doing a great job of being a magician in the backfield. I don't know if he's been taking any lessons with Chris Angel or the rest of the magicians here in Las Vegas, but he does not allow the first guy to ever get him down, no matter what kind of pressure he is faced with in the pocket. He's doing an amazing job, almost like a Johnnie football in a way, of being able to scramble outside the pocket and make something out of nothing. Now it's going to be a 3rd and long again here for the Rebels.
And he's looking to make something out of nothing on this 3rd and long at the Hawaii 30. Shotgun formation. Pocket breaks down. Calandria going to use his legs. Gets to the left side. Breaks a tackle. Trying to find some measure. Unable to do so. And is stopped on 3rd down. Brought down by Jemai Otis, the junior from Bishop Gorman High School.
And this defensive unit so far for Hawaii, they did a great job of bending but not breaking. Their defensive coordinator today is going to be, This defensive coordinator is going to be Dennis Thurman. He is going to be making sure that Anthony Calandria has pressure on him all night long, and they have done a great job of doing that with only 3 defenders. He wants to play with more DBs on the field in this defense, and he did so, being able to limit this Rebel offense to 3 here.
So sets up 4th down. Ramon Viella will kick a 44-yard field goal. Snap good, kick up through the uprights, and has the distance. So on the opening drive, the Rebels come out with 3. Scores 3-0 here early in the first quarter. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Net. $11 plays, 48 yards, and the Rebels settled for a 44-yard field goal from the leg of Ramon Viella. Great pressure up front from this defense. 2 of their defensive linemen, Jackie Johnson III and DeJon Benton, both guys top in the Mountain West in the top 10 for pressures, and both of them are able to get in the backfield, tackles for losses, sacks. We've seen it all year long for both those guys, and the whole unit was able to get to Anthony Calandria and not allow him to get through his reads, Johnny.
And that's a game within the game, Wyatt. Like you said, because of their pressures, not sacks in this instance, but pressures, they were making Anthony Colangelo have to step up in the pocket and have to be more versatile with his legs instead of looking downfield and trying to find open receivers. And what that does is it allows your defensive backs to have more time to play sticky man-to-man coverage, or if they're in zone defense, they're able to play match defense, and whoever is in their zone, they're going to be able to man up to them and make sure nobody gets open.
And the kickoff there by Caden Costa will be fair caught in the end zone by Cam Barfield, starting running back for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And so now brings out the offense, Micah Alejado, the hometown kid from Las Vegas, one of 7 players hailing from Las Vegas and one of 6 from Bishop Gorman in this program on this squad here tonight.
And you could say this team is built by Vegas. These guys in the backfield, Micah Alejado and Cam Barfield, both won a national championship for Bishop Gorman back in the day.
Bishop Gorman of the West, here we go, handoff up the middle, met at the line of scrimmage, might have gotten a gain of 1, but Cam Barfield stopped there early by Mumu Bin Wahad.
And right there, you have Paul Gunther showing that he is going to come guns blazing today. He has Mumu Bin Wahad in that nickel back position opposite of Amaris Brown, and he sends him on a nickel blitz on the first play of the game to limit them to a game of 1.
So now sets up 2nd and 9, ball at their own 26. Alejado with time, checks it down to Barfield, and he's tackled at the 30 for a gain of 4.
And I like that. Micah Alejado is going to play that Dylan Gabriel, Tua Tagovailoa style of game. If you allow him to sit down and see zone coverage, he's going to pick it apart time and time again and not force the ball when he doesn't have to. He does that right there, but Marcel McDuffie did exactly what he needed to do on his senior night to get his first tackle of the game.
On 3rd down this season, the Rainbow Warriors are 9th in the Mountain West, so the bottom half only converting 33% of the time. A big one here, 3rd and 5, ball at their own 30. Clock continues to tick, 8:40 to go. Rebels lead early, 3-0 here in the first quarter. And it's shotgun formation for Hawaii. Widespread offense, 2 receivers on each side. Alejado with time. 10 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap, looking, has time, fires, corner is connected. Down the near sideline, has one man to beat. He does. Touchdown Hawaii, a 70-yard house call from Jackson Harris.
And once again, UNLV, they've had every man in the box showing Micah Alejado that they were going to send pressure. But no, they went back into a cover 2 zone defense. And Jackson Harris was able to run the corner route, and Micah Alejado put the ball right where it needed to be, where only he could get it. He scampers off, beats Jake Pope down the sideline, and it's touchdown for the Rainbow Warriors at Allegiant Stadium.
And on their first drive, they strike for 70 on a corner route to Jackson Harris, who 2 weeks ago against San Diego State, 7 catches, 130 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He gets his first one of the night tonight. The lead is 7-3. 8:16 remaining. A penalty flag on the field. The PAT is up and in. So we're going to step aside here. Hawaii leads 7-3, 8:16 remaining here in the first from Allegiant Stadium. 3 plays, 75 yards, in just 1 minute and 12 seconds of time of possession for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And it went to the guy that they've gone up to all season long, Jackson Harris, his 11th touchdown of the year, and now he leads the Mountain West in receiving touchdowns here tonight.
And on that play, Wyatt, we had Michael Alejado being able to take advantage of the busted cover 2 zone coverage. You had Paul Gunther send all of his defensive backs and linebackers to look like they were going to send pressure. They fall back, but you have a zone cloud defender not where he's supposed to be. They run a corner route over the top to Jackson Harris, and it's one man to beat in Jake Pope, and he was unable to make the shoestring tackle. And UNLV is going to have to answer back against this Hawaii offense. As we've seen so far, they are going to be explosive today with Alejado at the helm.
Hawaii takes the early lead 7-3 with 8:16 remaining in the first quarter. The last time they won on the road in Vegas dates back to 2019. In this series, the games that have been won favor the home team, and we're seeing here Hawaii with a good start early, 7-3.
And you got to also think why there's a reason why they call Las Vegas the ninth island. If you're looking around at this stadium today, there are a ton of Hawaii fans here in abundance. And the UNLV to Las Vegas to Liberty to Bishop Gorman Pipeline is huge. They have a big foothold here in the valley.
Great tourism spot for Hawaiians and those of that culture. And they have found themselves migrating here off the run. About a gain of 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Ball at the 29. Second down.
And that's going to be something that Corey Dennis has to continue to go back to with Jet Thomas, going back to those simple inside zone runs and allowing your offensive line to impose their will against the University of Hawaii today.
Your ninth island showdown. Hawaii leads 7-3. Less than 8 minutes to go in the first. Calandria, fake toss to the left. Pressure and brought down for a huge loss. Dejon Benton and company brings down Calandria for a costly negative yards play.
Dejon Benton being able to take on 2 different players, and he's able to come free and get to the quarterback. And number 79, the defensive tackle, and Benton was able to get both of those guys off of him and still put pressure on Anthony Calandria, forcing them now into a long 3rd and 13.
7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Rebels trail 7-3. Jet the motion man to the flat. 3rd and 13. Calandria with time. Gonna take a deep shot. Has a man caught far sideline. It was in his hands. Fell out as soon as he hit the ground. Bradley unable to come down with it.
Yeah, Bradley was unable to come down with it, but it looked like on that play there were flags on the play.
And there was a holding call on the defense. It was a holding call, so that means it's going to be an automatic first down for UNLV.
And right there, another uncharacteristic play right there from Jaden Bradley with a drop on the deep shot from Anthony Calandria. And that's something we haven't seen from these guys. They have been very explosive in terms of pushing the ball downfield. But so far today, we've seen Jaden Bradley stumble a little bit on the route on the outside, and right there having a drop pass, which was beautifully dropped in the bucket by Anthony Calandria. He put and gave his guy a chance to make a play. Unfortunately, Jaden Bradley was unable to come down with that. I don't know if it's a little bit of the senior day jitters, but I know he'll be able to shake it off soon.
Holding call on number 24, Devin King, the transfer from Maryland. A little trickery here from UNLV, trying to get some motion. Has an open man across the middle. Has him inside Hawaii territory. First down by Troy O'Meara.
Troy O'Meara has done nothing but make explosive, timely plays for this Rebel offense all year so far. They have Anthony Calandria and the entire offensive line motion out and wheel out to the right side. And again, it's another bootleg action, which Anthony Calandria has been so successful at when he's able to move outside the pocket and push the ball downfield. They hit Troy O'Meara on the deep over for a big-time completion.
31-yard catch and run by O'Meara, who was wide open inside Hawaii territory. Ball is spotted at the 37. Pistol formation here. Handoff right side. Has the gap. Breaks the tackle. Trying to get outside and met by the cornerback. And will be spotted at the 30 for a gain of 7.
Great burst right there by Jet Thomas. You could see the difference in his game now that he's back here on the field, where in that Utah State game, he was out because of a hamstring injury. And I don't see any ailment so far today in terms of his explosion and how hard he's been able to jump cut and explode out of all his moves so far for the Rebels. They're going to need him today, and it looks to see like he's going to get rolling so far today in this game.
Thomas was tackled there by Verdell Edwards II, the transfer from Iowa State, senior. Across the middle, Thomas this time picks up the first down using his hands, spinning and falling down at the 25 for a gain of 6, and there's penalty flags on the far sideline at the 27 and 25-yard marker.
And I love that. I love Corey Dennis going back to the play-action pass to keep this defense on his toes. And right there, again, if you have those play actions, those little pet plays, you can give it to your running back and allow him to be a safety valve for you and use it as an extension of your running game.
We're going to go down to the head honcho, head referee Christian Watson for the call. And it is a face mask penalty, so a tack on 15 yards after that. 2 penalties that have kept this drive alive and pushing forward for the Rebels by fault of Hawaii's defense. And they are now in the red zone for the first time tonight, ball spotted at the 12.
And right there, that penalty was called on the linebacker again, Jalen Smith. We talked about him on the previous drive being able to make a big play. But right there, it goes to show how hard it is to get a guy like Jet Thomas on the ground. Unfortunately, he put hands on the face mask, and that's going to be a penalty every time in the ref's books.
1st and 10 at the 12. And a false start penalty, pre-snap flag thrown. And that's likely to go against UNLV here. So they'll back it up 5 yards and start this first down at the 17-yard line.
And right here with their first play coming in the red zone now, when you're trying to play efficient, smart football, you don't want to see these guys on the offensive line moving and being too jittery and setting your offense up for failure. We know UNLV today, if they're going to be successful and win this game, they are going to have to make the most of their red zone opportunities. And that starts with not getting penalties in this area that can back yourselves up and make you have to settle for 3 points.
And that was called on the left tackle, number 72, Will Thomas, the 6'7 junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So now it's 1st and 15, ball at the Hawaii 17. Far sideline connects Jaden Bradley inside the 10. Catch and run there. And good chunk play for UNLV's offense.
And I love that decision-making by Anthony Calandria to just take the simple, quick read. And not only does he do that, but he's able to give the ball to Jaden Bradley and continue to have him touch the football and get a rhythm for this football game. He is going to be extremely needed in this game. They're going to move him around the formation a lot, whether he's going against nickelback Elijah Palmer, another Bishop Gorman guy, or on the outside with Verdell Edwards.
They stop him at the 13. He steps out of bounds. Handoff. Glover, left side, breaks the tackle. One away from getting in the end zone, but is brought down at the 8. Out of that shotgun formation, trips right, almost able to break free and punch it in for 6.
And right here in a situation where it's a 2nd and long, you would think UNLV goes to a pass. Nope, they go to Jalen Glover and take him on the easy inside zone, and he's able to push up the field. We've seen him grow so much in this offense and get so much trust from Corey Dennis. I love them giving them the ball there.
Empty formation, Calandria. Gonna roll to the right, looking. Has time across the middle, back of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Rebels! Jaden Bradley for an 8-yard strike, and they regain the lead.
Jaden Bradley turning up in the end zone, doing his little dancey dance and showing off the strong hands. He had that big-time drop earlier on in the drive, but being able to make up for it here with Anthony Calandria picking up right where he's left off all season long. Coming across the middle on that bootleg, he was the last part of the read, and he was the 4th read in that situation. Anthony Calandria throwing across his body, across the middle of the field, and fighting his receiver, and Jaden Bradley didn't give up on the play and made a great catch with a defender draped all over him. Beautiful execution by both players.
That's Bradley's 4th touchdown reception of the season, and the PAT is good by Viella. The Rebels lead 10-7 with 3:47 remaining here in the first quarter from Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. The Rebels lead 10-7 with 3:47 remaining here in the first quarter. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnny Graves here on the call on Rebel Sports Net. The ninth Island Showdown is more at stake than just the title eliminator. This game settles who gets the big golden pineapple known as the ninth Island Trophy. UNLV has had it the last few years. Our last matchup was last year here in Vegas. UNLV won a close one, 29-27 on November 9th of 2024. And it's their second straight win over the Rainbow Warriors here in Vegas. And with that being said, this rivalry dates back all the way to 1969, one of the oldest rivals for UNLV aside for Reno, who they will play next week on the road for the Fremont Cannon. And back-to-back rivalry games, an exciting one here. Two of the top teams in the Mountain West, Johnny, and they are just throwing jab for jab. UNLV leads 10-7 here in Allegiant Stadium here in the first quarter.
And right here, like you said, Wyatt, 10-7 with 3:47 left in this first quarter. This game is going to be a showdown for that matter. And when you're looking at both of these teams in the atmosphere here at Allegiant Stadium, there is such a bowl game type of vibe. This game means so much to both sides of the spectrum when you're looking at UNLV and Hawai'i and how they want to play the day. And not only just for the coaches, but 100% for the players. We spoke about there are 8 players from Hawai'i that have come from Las Vegas. They're having their homecoming. Their families are here in the stands, and they want to make sure that their presence is felt and they do exactly what they are doing for not only themselves, but for their community here. And if you're looking at for both of these teams, with the stipulations in the Mountain West, with how close and how tight this race has been so far this year, we need to see both of these teams come out and play their A games. They've been able to do it so far today.
And a 5-way tie in second place in the Mountain West. Both these teams are 2 of those there. And it's the only teams in those 5 that will be playing each other in the last 2 games of this stretch of the regular season. First and 10 from the 25. Handoff. Barfield cuts outside, makes a man miss, falling down at the 33-yard line for a gain of about 8.
And Barfield showing the reason why he was such a highly touted transfer coming from Boston College, where he spent his first year in the program, and he was a big part of their offense. But he is a very explosive running back. You're going to see him and running back Landon Sims both be parts of this offense. But he is more of their change of pace, Jahmyr Gibbs type running back, whereas Landon Sims is their grind between the tackles, David Montgomery type of running back in this offense.
So now 2nd and 3, 5 seconds on the play clock. Ball off their own 32, 3 minutes to go. 1 second on the play clock. Gets it off just in time. Alejado rolls out left, fires outside, and incomplete, throwing it away.
And that speaks to some of the inabilities of Michael Alejado and what we've seen and the opposites between him and Anthony Calandria. When the pocket and the play breaks down, he doesn't have a whole lot of scramble ability to be able to pick up those much-needed yards with his legs. And a lot of that is due to him having a smaller stature and not having the same type of athleticism that you've seen from a lot of these guys. He's able to beat defenses with his arm and also with his mind. He knows where his safety valves and his outlets are, but UNLV and Paul Gunther are going to have to switch up the looks to get him off the field in 3rd down situations.
Last drive, they converted on 3rd down. See what they do here. 3rd and 3, shotgun formation across the middle, connects. That's Harris, and it picks up another 1st down for the Rainbow Warriors.
And it looks like we're in the backyard, Wyatt, because right there, that's a simple pitch and catch. He was able to diagnose that he was going to play off-man coverage from Andrew Powdrell, but a great job of using a diamond release on the slant route by Jackson Harris to get open and get Andrew Powdrell.
1st and 10 at their own 38. Shotgun formation, spread offense here for the Rainbow Warriors. Alejandro snap, throws it, connects again to Harris, and a flag thrown across the middle, and it lays there at the 33-yard line.
2 flags in the backfield, but it looks like it's probably going to be holding here on this play. The University of Hawai'i, with Timmy Chang in this offense, they're going to have RPO plays, and it's going to be up to Michael Alejado if he's going to give the ball to his running back or keep it and sling it to his wide receivers.
And it's a holding call on the left tackle, Dean Brisky, the junior from Pago Pago, American Samoa.
And right there on that play, you have Brisky with Adelea trying to get to the backfield, and because he wants to protect his quarterback, unfortunately, he had to take that penalty on that play, and UNLV is going to be able to back them up 10 yards and set themselves up if they can win on 1st and 2nd down.
Tunmise Adelea, the guy he was holding, his 3rd in sacks in the Mountain West, so it was understandable why he did it. So now it's 1st and 20 at their own 28. Handoff up the middle. Gets a good chunk there by Landon Sims. First time today we've said his name, the senior from Gig Harbor, Washington.
And like I said, Wyatt, they're going to use both of these running backs in this system, and they're going to use them effectively. They know what kind of guys they have in the running back room, and they're not going to allow Cam Barfield to run himself in the ground, and they're definitely not going to do so with Landon Sims. But on that play, with UNLV expecting a pass play call on first down, they go to the run, pick up a nice 8 yards for a chunk play.
Less than 2 minutes to go here. UNLV leads 10-7. Hawaii with the ball, 2nd and 12 at their own 36. Widespread offense. Shotgun fires quick outside. Breaks the tackle down the near sideline and steps out of bounds short of the line of gain. Caught there by Brandon White, the junior from Kentucky.
And right there, you have to know that Timmy Chang and his quarterback, Michael Alahado, have to look at what the guys are doing in the pros, and specifically Tua Tagovailoa and what he does in quick read situations. He gives the ball to his receiver on the outside and allows him to make a play and pick up more yards instead of getting tackled there by LaTerrence Welsh. But now, Paul Gunther, if they want to win this game, is going to have to trust his DBs in man-to-man coverage so they can get pressure on Michael Alahado and get off the field in third down situations.
One of the best defenses on third down have allowed the Rainbow Warriors to convert two here tonight, and a false start by two receivers of the offense, and it's going to back up from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10 for a longer yard to gain.
And a very, a very uncharacteristic play right there. And false start penalty on two receivers. When you have receivers and you break out of the huddle, you know what time the snap count is going to be, and you know what the play call is going to be as well. Right there as receivers, your job to watch the football. Right there, they didn't watch the ball. They were too antsy for the play, setting up a 3rd and long here for the Rebels.
3rd and 10 from their own 38. 40 seconds remain here in the first. UNLV leads 10-7. Shotgun, Alahado with time, fires across the middle, through the hands, incomplete pass, and it's going to be a 4th down here for the Hawaii offense.
Jaheim Joseph and Amaris Brown did a great job of not giving up on that play. Michael Alahado had to step up in the pocket and give his wide receiver, number 5, Pofele Ashlock, a chance, and the ball simply went right through Ashlock's hands on that play. Michael Alahado put the ball exactly where it needed to be. You seen him deliver the ball with a great pass, but Ashlock, unfortunately unable to come down with that ball on a big 3rd down.
And he leads the team in reception, so an uncharacteristic drop, bringing out Billy Goers, the Aussie from Melbourne. He is a true freshman at 29 years old. Punts that one. Irvin Fair catches that, and inside the 20. And that's where the UNLV offense will come back out on the other side here at Rebel Sports Net. Ninth Island Showdown here in Allegiant Stadium. Welcome inside the Death Star. UNLV leads 10-7, getting off the field on a crucial third down, Johnny, with just 25 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and the offense is coming back out on the field.
And Wyatt, if you're looking at the public here in Las Vegas, there's been a lot of questions about what kind of UNLV defense we were going to see being led by Paul Gunther coming into this game. And they did a great job of being able to react to the penalties and making the most of their opportunities on that last possession for the UNLV defense. Them being able to get Micah Alejado off the field is going to be very key into playing into how UNLV wants to play this game. Now with a 10-7 lead in this game, 25 seconds left and remaining in this first quarter. Now with the playing with the lead, you can go to your running game with Jet Thomas and Kevon Lee and allow them to put their imprint on this game and keep the ball out of that high-powered offense's hands.
Jet Thomas on the season, 780 yards on the ground and 173 through receptions. 1st and 10 from their own 18. Handoff, Thomas cuts back inside with a counter, breaks the tackle, fighting for more yards. Going to take a number of men to bring him down, and they do at the 26-yard line.
And that's the exact mentality that I wanted to see from Corey Dennis in this offense to start this first run on this drive. Them being able to smash mouth the football and set the tone for how they want to play in this game, and especially going into the second quarter now, that's exactly what Corey Dennis and Dan Mullen want to see out of this offense.
And that 8-yard carry will take us to the end of the first quarter here in the Ninth Island Showdown. The Rebels lead early 10-7 with 1 quarter down. Here on the other side, second quarter action coming your way here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back here inside Allegiant Stadium. The start of the second quarter. The Rebels lead 10-7 with 15 minutes down. And as the beginning of this quarter commences, we've had a lot of celebration for the seniors here tonight. And we're going to take a look at some of the stats at the end of the first 15 minutes for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Through 3 drives, 103 total yards, 87 of those through the air. That huge 70-yard touchdown to Jackson Harris was a huge part in that. UNLV defense able to get off the field to get this offense back out after an 8-yard carry by Jet Thomas, who only has 22 yards on the night, but he's north of 800 yards on the season here tonight.
And so far today, we've seen both of the guys that we pinpointed before this game, and Micah Alejado and Anthony Calandra, both taking care of the football. So far today, only 4 combined incompletions between both of the quarterbacks. They've been very efficient, being able to be leaders for their team and not putting the ball in harm's way. You're going to see these guys not make mistakes. You're going to see them execute. They're going to have to continue to do so if both sides want to win today.
So now beginning of the second quarter, 2nd and 2 at their own 26. UNLV shotgun formation. Calandria designated rollout to the right. Quick pass. Connects. Fighting for extra yards. Diving forward is Tayshawn Lyons picking up the first down for UNLV.
Tayshawn Lyons right there on that play, being able to catch the ball on the outside. And this time, it's not Jaden Bradley. It's actually Tayshawn being able to get that and pick up a first down for the Rebels. But it speaks to the depth in this offense. They know that with this team, they're going to be losing a lot of seniors in this coming year. They're going to have to reset, but they're doing a great job of showing their depth.
Moving the chains, 1st and 10. Trips left, quick pass, Danny Reynolds hit it as soon as he caught the ball for a loss of 1. Blown up in the backfield by Palmer. And it's going to be 2nd and 11. Ball at the 28-yard line.
And right there on that play, it's actually going to be Jaheim Wilson-Jones, 5'11", 175 pounds. And him and Elijah Palmer both did a great job of diagnosing the wide receiver screen on the outside. They both ran to the football, blew up that play, and allowed it to be now 2nd and 10 for the Rebels.
Just a minute to go. That has came off the clock here in the second quarter. Calandria, wide open receiver. Lyons down the far sideline, inside the 30, the 20, inside the 10. No one's going to touch him. Touchdown Rebels, 71-yard house call.
Tayshawn Lyons, I'm going to do my dance. I'm going to hit the slur. Oh, my God, they are pushing the ball downfield efficiently. And Anthony Calandria with another big-time play for the Rebels once again this season. And that had to have been at least the 8th play-action call by Corey Dennis in this offense. And they were able to get Tayshawn Lyons wide open and break the coverage of the secondary for the University of Hawaii. That's the first time we've been able to see them spread the ball downfield and have an explosive play like that, and you love the wherewithal by Tayshawn Lyons to execute the play, make the big catch, and have the run after it.
Tayshawn Lyons last week, 1 catch, 15 yards, and on his 2nd catch tonight, he house calls it for 71 yards, putting the Rebels up by 2 scores, 17-7. Here with 13:37 remaining in the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. More action here on Rebel Sports Net. Four plays, 82 yards off a 72-yard house call for Tayshawn Lyons, his career high receiving touchdown and yards caught on 1 play. What a great display there from Lyons, who only got 1 pass last week, but for 15 yards. And he just put up a huge house call there for the Rebels.
And I love Dan Mullen and Corey Dennis having guys that haven't had much of an opportunity to make plays so far this season to come in the second to last game on a senior night and understand that Tayshawn Lyons is probably going to be a part of this team come next year. He is only a sophomore. He is going to be a big part of this offense. And he's going to be somebody coming in the next year when a lot of these senior wide receivers leave the program. He's going to need to be counted on. He was able to do it right there with Anthony Calandria. And what a big-time play to be able to take advantage of the busted coverage from the University of Hawaii secondary.
And a career-high catch and run for Lyons now sets up a 10-point lead for the Rebels, 17-7 with 13:37 remaining here in the first half. And a very commanding lead, which moments ago seemed like it was going to be back and forth, and now the Rebels in great position to take over here, and momentum's on their side here at home as they're about to kick the ball off to the Hawaii offense.
And backs against the wall. We need to see Micah Alejado in this offense be able to return the favor against this UNLV defense. They're going to have to answer this team. We know that both of these teams are going to be able to be high-powered, but we've seen this UNLV defense do a great job of getting off the field on third down. But if the University of Hawaii wants to be successful, they're going to have to limit penalties that have shot them in the foot and have set them behind the chains. Micah Alejado, I know he's going to be able to stay composed and not force and put the ball in the harm's way, but you still don't want to get away from what you've been able to do successfully so far in this game, in the season. Trust your quarterback, make the right plays, and let's see what they can do on this drive.
And after the touchback on the kickoff, 1st and 10 from their own 25, Alejado shotgun formation. Handoff to Sims, the left side, breaks a tackle, and brought down at the 33 for a gain of 8.
Right there, Landon Sims looked like he was dead to rights. Looked like the UNLV defensive line filled up all the holes, and he was able to get to the second level and pick up 8 yards for Hawaii with a great job on first down for that team.
So now sets up 2nd and 2. UNLV leads 17-7 with 13 minutes remaining here in the first half. Pressure off the edge, handoff, Sims fighting for the first down and spins onto the 36-yard line, and it's going to move the chains here.
And I love the simple. Sometimes the best thing to do if you're Timmy Chang and your offensive coordinator for this team, Anthony Arsenault, is just simply run and smash mouth the football and pick up the first down and keep the chains moving. They do exactly that on the play. Now you can open up your playbook and push the ball downfield.
Now 1st and 10 from their own 36. Alejado rolling left, check down to Sims, open on the left sideline, running up the field and met at the 42 by a gang of rebels, and he'll be stopped there for a gain of 7.
And right there, it started with LaTerrence Welsh not being afraid to hit. But again, Micah Alejado, if his check down is open, he is going to take it every single time. He plays a lot like a point guard. What you want to see in a point guard is being a floor general, and in this instance, he's a field general. He is going to be the guy that is going to give his playmakers the ball and allow them to make plays and not put himself in harm's way, knowing he's the quarterback of this team.
Less than 12 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2nd and 3, shotgun formation, handoff, met at the line of scrimmage, flag on the play. And Jaheim Joseph face down on the turf, rolling in pain. And so we're going to step aside for an injury timeout. 11:52 remaining here in the second quarter from Allegiant Stadium. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. 11:52 remains. UNLV leads 17-7 Jaheim Joseph able to get up on his own and walked off by the medical staff. And during the break, the holding call was on number 87, the tight end, Devin Ta'efa. And that's going to bring them back to a 2nd and 13, ball at their own 33, Johnny.
And if you're Paul Gunther in this UNLV defense, you have to be able to take advantage of that holding call and put pressure on Michael Alejado and try to see if you can force him to get the ball out quickly, which will lead to an incompletion instead of a 3rd and long. But we talked about it. The name of the game when it comes to a lot of these teams is going to have to be penalties and how they set your offense up for failure. If you're playing from behind the sticks, especially in a game where you are now down 10 to this high potent UNLV offense, you're going to play a little bit more desperate and make a lot of the mistakes that you wouldn't have if you wouldn't have put yourself in that situation. Now we have to see which team is going to be able to capitalize on that, but I need to see this UNLV defense put pressure on Michael Alejado and not allow him to take the easy pitch and catch every single time.
And Hawaii as a team has been the 3rd least penalized team in the Mountain West, only 60 yards per game, really. They have 63 already in less than 20 minutes of play here in the first quarter. 2nd and 13, Alejado fires across the seam, broken up on the play by Trey Fulton, and it's picked off by Jake Pope. Tips and overthrows for the Rebels, and they get a turnover here.
Tips and overthrows, and the Georgia product himself once again. It's been very quiet. We haven't heard very much of Jake Pope, but this defensive secondary has been amazing so far this season in terms of turnover ratio, turnover margin, and getting the football back in the offensive's hands. You had a tip by Mumu Bin Wahad coming over from that nickelback spot and hitting the ball from Michael Alejado. And actually, it was Trey Fulton, the safety, coming in the very first play for Jaheim Joseph to get hands on the football. And Jake Pope was able to corral it, get the catch completed, and the UNLV offense and this entire stadium is buzzing to get this offensive football back.
And that is the 19th turnover for this defense this season. The tipped pass from Trey Fulton. Looks like that ball was hitting the ground. I look back up, and I see Jake Pope on the ground, and the referee saying he caught that. They're going to go to the review here, so we're going to step aside. As it stands, the Rebel offense is going to come out onto the field. They lead 17-7. 11 and a half minutes remain here in the first half. Here from Allegiant Stadium, you're listening to Rebel Sports Net. After further review, the interception is upheld, and it's Jake Pope Jr. with the pick off the hand of Trey Fulton. No fly zone here in Vegas, so the offense will come out. Ball at their own 26, and they lead by 10, Johnny.
And I talked about before that play ever happened, Wyatt, is about when you're playing from behind, you start to play a little bit more desperate. Right there, Michael Alejado tried to fit the ball over the seam to his receiver. It gets tipped and intercepted by Jake Pope.
And that's his 8th interception of the season. Coming here in Vegas, 11:30 to go here in the second quarter. Calandria, shotgun formation, finds his receiver, Irvin, caught at the 30 and brought down at the 32 for a gain of 6.
And now this game is firmly in UNLV's hands, and it's very early in the second quarter. Right there, they are able to hit D'Angelo Irvin, recognizing that University of Hawaii is playing zone off coverage. So what does he do? He sits in the middle of that zone. Anthony Calandria rolls out, finds him for the nice 6-yard completion.
So now 2nd and 4 with 11 minutes remaining. Trips left, shotgun. Hand off to Thomas, bounces out left side, picks up the first down and a little bit more. brought down at the 39 for a gain of 7.
And there's a reason why Jet Thomas is such a leader on this team, and this is football IQ. And when you pair that football IQ with a guy that has insane contact balance and the wherewithal to see that the B gap was completely closed, the halfback counter that they wanted to run with Jet Thomas was completely closed up. So what does he do? He bounces it to the outside, knows where the sticks are, and picks up the first down for the Rebels.
Pistol formation, trips right, 1st and 10. Ball at their own 39. Motions Thomas now to his right side. Pump fake. Calandria firing right side. Connects, but is his foot in bounds? Bradley, they say it is inside Hawaii territory at the 42. Big pickup there on first down.
And once again, Jaden Bradley showing the scouts that are here in the press box at Allegiant Stadium that he is a guy that needs to be on their radar when the draft season comes around. He gets not 1, but 2 feet inbounds, and that is going to be good in the NFL and on all levels. But right there, you had Anthony Calandria on a bootleg, rolling out, putting the ball on the money once again.
1st and 10 at the Hawaii 43. Shotgun formation, handoff to Lee. Bounces outside to the right, trying to break a tackle, and brought down inside the 40 near the 38-yard line.
And this is the most consistent and the most effective I've seen this UNLV offense. And you have to think that when you're playing back-to-back weeks of football, you are now going to be in rhythm. This UNLV team to start the year had to go through 3 different bye weeks. That slows down a lot of the momentum and a lot of the growth that you're having as an offense because you're playing a game and then you're not. And then you're playing a game and you're not. Football is a game of rhythm. Right now they have JoJo Earl in the backfield though.
This season, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors are 1-1 off the bye week. A jet sweep, a wildcat take, faking the jet sweep to Calandria. JoJo Earl to the left side, picks up a couple yards there.
And Wyatt, on a play like that, if you're Corey Dennis in this offense, what do you think is the mindset to be able to have enough trust in JoJo Earl to take that wildcat play and be able to pick up the first down right there?
There's a penalty flag on the field. Referees conferring on the near sideline at the 23. A potential holding call.
Potentially.
And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on Jaden Bradley. Looks like a little delay of game with the ball. A little chirping after the play is over, so they're going to bring it back quite some ways for this UNLV offense, who's been so potent so far early in this game.
And right here, they get Jaden Bradley on the late hit. And you have to understand, again, that goes back to having a high football IQ. You don't need to put yourself in a position to where you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're setting this offense up from behind. You don't want to bail out the University of Hawaii. You have been beating them in all 3 phases of football today. You want to keep that up if you're Jaden Bradley. He knows better, but he'll be able to make amends for that play.
15-yard penalty, only their second penalty of the day. Empty formation here. Calandria, shotgun with time, throws down the seam. Incomplete, just overthrows his receiver, Tayshawn Lyons, who caught a 72-yard catch and run earlier. Unable to connect there, setting up second down.
And man-to-man across the board in the empty formation, you had Tayshawn Lyons and Elijah Palmer, the Bishop Gorman product, going down the middle of the field across the seam. And Anthony Calandria puts the ball where only Lyons could have a chance at the ball. Unfortunately, Tayshawn Lyons, like Jaden Bradley earlier, got a little bit of too ahead of themselves. Feet got tangled up, and the ball is incomplete.
2nd and 10 from their own 43. Less than 9 minutes to go. Calandria in the pocket. Fires across the middle. Through the contact. Caught there by Day-Day Reynolds.
What a big body catch by number 3, Day-Day Reynolds. Being able to take that bobbled pass with a defensive back all over him and still be able to come up with that catch. That is a strong hand catch. And he made Wilson Jones know that he's a little guy with a little bit of expression after that play.
A 6-yard catch sets up 3rd and 4 at the Hawaii 37. 8:20 and counting here in the first half. UNLV leads 17-7. And a bunch left formation here. Shotgun from Calandria. Motions Irvin to the right side. Handoff up the middle. Lee tackled, falling forward near the line to gain at the 33. And is it enough? Referees motioning it. Yes, it is. Moving the chains here. First down, UNLV.
And before that play even started, I was thinking in my head, if you're Corey Dennis and Dan Mullen, with what you've seen so far from this UNLV defense, that was 2 down territory, especially knowing that points are going to be at a premium in this game. But what do? They go back to Kevon Lee, another vital part of this UNLV rushing attack, and he's able to pick up the hard 4 yards.
7:30 remaining here in the second quarter. Shotgun formation. Calandria, far sideline. Incomplete pass intended for Bradley. And that's going to set up second down here.
And Jaden Bradley and Devin King, 5'11", 175 pounds, the senior, being able to have great coverage on the outside with Jaden Bradley. And it honestly could have been offensive pass interference on Jaden Bradley, but the referees, knowing that they were hand fighting down the field, they let that one go and set up a 2nd and 10 here for the Rebels.
UNLV leads 17-7. Ball at the Hawaii 33, second down and 10, setting up here. Trips right. Calandria in shotgun formation with Glover on his right hip. Quick handoff. Glover, left side. Trucking up the middle. Breaks the tackle. Breaks a second. Falls down at the 25 for a gain of 8.
And not only was there great patience on that play by Jalen Glover, but you have to love the effort from the UNLV offensive line, being able to pull their left tackle and Will Thomas and their guard, both to be able to get to those B and C gaps and get Glover to the second level.
And they get to the line quick here on 3rd and 2. Handoff again. Glover up the middle, and he's got enough for a first down. 3-yard carry. Stopped at the 22. Move the chains again for this UNLV offense.
And this UNLV offense is not shying away and going away from the run. And not only are they being able to do a great job of running the football and keep the chains moving, but it's continuing to churn this clock offensively if you're the University of Hawaii, knowing that potentially you're going to be down already now in this game 2 scores if UNLV gets another score on this possession.
Hawaii with just under 7 minutes of total playing time. UNLV with over 16 here on this drive. Moore, the motion man to the right side. Calandria, shotgun formation, slips, able to get back up, rolling out right, pressured, fires, far sideline. It's caught. Did Moore put his feet in? He did. A big gain there, just short of the first down marker.
And that Ant-Man is nothing short of a superhero in this offense. Once again, being able to take off, he got a little bit of the turf monster on that play, still able to get up off his feet, make a play for the Rebels, and keep the chains moving. But right there, it's going to be 2nd and 1. But Coy Moore on the scramble drill, coming back to the quarterback, coming back to the football, and being able to be a safety valve for the offense.
Whistle blows dead. And a timeout called here on the field. So we will step aside with 5:53 remaining. UNLV leads 17-7 in the red zone. 2nd down when we come back here from Allegiant Stadium. Second and 2 here. The referees and the whole officiating staff took a moment to see if Anthony Calandria, when he was tackled by the turf monster, if he was down by the field, and he was not. And so a quick timeout from the officiating crew. Head coach Dan Mullen is not happy about that review as it came out of nowhere in his mind. So now sets up 2nd and 2 here. Ball at the Hawaii 14-yard line. And head honcho Christian Watson going back to Timmy Chang and this Hawaii coaching staff. And now they're going to officially review it. What is going on?
Again, this is the 2nd week in a row that we've seen officiating be a little bit suspect for both sides of the football in terms of UNLV and their opponent here at Allegiant Stadium. This was a play that they had already moved on from and deemed that UNLV was going to run this second down play call and 2nd and 1, and now they're going back to look at a play and try to see if UNLV and Anthony Calandria were actually down on the football field when he made that scramble. These guys had to do a better job of cleaning it up and not going back to plays when they have already pushed the sticks and moved the formations to the other side of the football field.
Well, with less than 6 minutes to go here in the first half, let's take a look at some of the stats here in the game comparison. Total yards, Hawaii with 121, UNLV with 247 through about 25 minutes of play here inside Allegiant Stadium. 182 of those yards for UNLV have come through the air in the arm of Anthony Calandria. And you cannot forget this defense has been holding up. Got a key defensive stop a couple possessions ago, and they got an interception off the tipped hand of Trey Fulton, and Jake Pope Jr. recovered it, diving on the ball just in time, giving the UNLV offense another chance to put up some more points.
And right here with this drive after that Jake Pope interception, this UNLV offense has been able to push the ball downfield and still be efficient. When you're looking at the time of possession, it's 11 minutes and 49 seconds to 6 minutes and 41 seconds for this Rebel offense compared to the Hawaii offense. And they've been able to garner up so much yards and keep the clock churning with that 10-point lead. Again, in this game of football that we play, it is all coming down to being able to who is going to make timely plays when you need it most and who is also going to make mistakes.
And so after that review, there is a charge timeout on Hawaii for the challenge practically. So 5:53 remains, 2nd and 2. All order is restored. Ball is at the Hawaii 14. UNLV in the red zone once again with a 17-7 lead.
If I'm Corey Dennis in the offense, I don't want to shy away from this running game.
Shotgun formation, Calandria. Handoff Lee up the middle, breaks the tackle, stiff arms the man inside the 5, fighting for extra yards, falling in. Pylon is down. Touchdown Rebels. A big run there from Kevon Lee, a 14-yard Marshawn Lynch-esque run.
And right there, that was his own beast quake. And if you're a Madden fan, Kevon Lee putting the team on his back, looking like Greg Jennings out there on the field right there. But you have Kevon Lee stiff-arming Jalen Smith and taking multiple defenders with him into the end zone. And this Rebel offense has to love what they're seeing from their number 2 back behind Jet Thomas.
And after the play was over, an unsportsmanlike penalty on Will Thomas, the left tackle, who got called for a false start earlier. And the Rebels go up big here in Allegiant.
And the Rebels now with a 17-point cushion with 5:45 left to go in this second quarter. And they have been excelling in all 3 phases of football today. And right there you have Kevon Lee, the second-string running back, putting his head down and showing how size matters at the Division I level, punching that in for 6 for the Rebels.
The PAT from Viella is good. Last week, Kevon Lee, 11 carries, 43 yards. He gets 14 yards there for a touchdown, putting the lead 24-7. 5:45 remains here in the half. Don't go anywhere. More action on the other side here from Allegiant Stadium. 13 plays, 74 yards, and took off 5 minutes and 45 seconds here in the second quarter. The Rebels with a commanding 24-7 lead here inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves on the call. 5:45 remains in this first half, and a great display by this offense, but you have to credit this defense for holding this potent Hawaii offense to only 7 points.
And it all speaks to Paul Gunther and what they've been able to drill in these guys since UNLV had their last bye week. When they've been able to play consistent games, they've been able to come out and play complementary football and do exactly what they're supposed to do as a cohesive unit. But if you're looking at the other side and offensively, I have to shout out again Ant-Man, Anthony Calandria, 13 for 17, 182 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns on the day. Being able to command this offense and keep the chains moving, they were able to go 5 of 6 so far today on third down and keep the ball moving. But the guy that has to be happiest on the sideline for this entire team is Jake Pope. Knowing that his offense did not let him down, they were able to get points on the board after his turnover and extend this lead. And it looks like Hawaii may be a little bit snake-bitten by that bye week and be playing a little bit sluggish and out of character than what we've seen from them after that 38-6 dominant win over San Diego State.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Will Thomas is assessed on this kickoff, so UNLV will boot it from their own 20, and it goes out of bounds. So the Hawaii offense will start from their own 45. A costly penalty there, setting up this Hawaii offense, for a great opportunity to have great field position.
And it looks like there's going to be another penalty right here on the field as well. But
so
now,
take a look. Go ahead, partner.
Sorry, boss. Hawaii is going to have to respond now in this football game. Down 17, Micah Alejado putting the ball in harm's way with that tipped an interception to set up UNLV to have the 7-point lead. They are now going to have to play from behind, but they're going to be playing with great field position. They are now at the 50-yard line. We know this team is high-powered, and they have the ability to score quick. Look, UNLV's defense has to look out for guys like Jackson Harris, who have been so instrumental to this team's success. They're going to have to make sure these DBs are reading their keys and keeping their eyes on the receiver, not the quarterback.
So now Hawaii starting at the midfield here, 1st and 10, 5:45 remains. They trail by 17. Hand off to Sims to the left side and brought down for a gain of 3 at the 47 by Jalen Lee and company.
Jalen Lee, Chief Borders, and Marcel McDuffie showing that they are not ready to ride off into the sunset here at Allegiant Stadium on Senior Day without being victorious in this game. There's been such a aggression and manner of which they want to get to the football as defensive tackles, D-ends, and linebackers. Paul Gunther has to love the effort he's seeing from this unit today.
5 minutes and 10 seconds ticking here in the second quarter. Shotgun formation. Alejado pressure off the edge, makes a man miss, running forward, and stopped near the line of scrimmage by Tunmise Adelea. And it's going to be 3rd down and 7.
And a little bit of game within the game. Mumu bin Wahad is going to be kicking himself when he goes back and looks at this film because Michael Alejado made him be able to miss, but because of the pressure coming from that nickelback position by Mumu bin Wahad, it forced Michael Alejado to have to step up in the pocket, which funneled him to his defensive tackles, and Chief Borders and Jalen Lee were able to get their first sack of the day on the quarterback.
A crucial 3rd down here for Hawaii. Could potentially be 4-down territory. They are 2 of 3 on 3rd down tonight. Alejado deep down the seam, has a man dropped at the goal line. Had the coverage busted, had the opportunity, unable to capitalize. Alejado going deep from his own 47, unable to connect there with his receiver, White.
And Brandon White on that play is going to have to wipe the butterfinger out his back pocket because UNLV in this secondary just caught a big break. Michael Alejado put the ball right on the money for only Brandon White to get it, and that is a big-time drop. Now, 4th and 7, UNLV has to get to the quarterback in this instance and force a turnover on downs.
This offense has been 37.9% on 4th down. Flags fly for a pre-snap penalty. Both sides pointing at each other, waiting from this officiating crew to see who it's on. So on fourth down, almost 38% converted, 8th in the Mountain West for Hawaii's offense. And it's going to be a false start penalty on the offensive line, backing them up 5 yards, and bring on the punting unit once again. Billy Gowers and company for the offense.
And you have back-to-back drive killers, back breakers in this game. If you're a Hawaii, head coach Timmy Chang in this game, being able to know that you had an opportunity to not only get a touchdown on that drop pass, but when you're trying to go for it and keep your offense on the field, you have a false start penalty to shoot yourself in the foot again. UNLV's defense, though, has to watch out for any pet plays on this punt.
So on 4th and 12, Gowers will punt this one. He had 5 last week, averaging 41 in that game against San Diego State. 2 weeks ago. Pins him inside the 5. Urban Fair catches that one at the 4, and that's where the UNLV offense will take over.
And now this UNLV offense and Dan Mullen with Corey Dennis, they have an opportunity to do the same thing they just did, which is basically go the length of the football field and potentially put 3 or 6 points on the board for this Rebel offense. And if you're looking at this team and what we've seen so far from this UNLV defense, as good as the UNLV offense has been able to play, this UNLV defense has done a great job of getting off the field in 3rd and 4th down situations and getting this offense the football back.
Here we go, 1st and 10 at their own 4-yard line. Backs against the wall. Calandria in shotgun formation. Play action, near sideline, caught for the first down. Day Reynolds steps out of bounds at the 15 for a gain of 11.
And right there, Day Reynolds runs the perfect speed cut out route, and Anthony Calandria hits him right on the chest, right in his numbers, and he's the only one that can get that catch. Anthony Calandria was able to recognize that Hawaii was playing off-man coverage with their cornerbacks. He eats up that cushion and picks up a first down for the Rebels.
Ball at the 15, 1st and 10 here. New set of downs for the Rebels. Hand off to Thomas. Gets to the outside, trying to get an angle, breaking a couple tackles, and falling backwards all the way to the 5. And they stop his forward motion at that yardage. So a huge loss there of 10.
And I talk so much about the star of the defense when you're playing that nickelback position. Right there, it was Elijah Palmer. He was able to keep pace with Jet Thomas, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the tackle, but he allowed his DB and Wilson Jones to rally to the football and get Jet Thomas down on the ground for a negative play, setting up a 2nd and 20 for the Rebels.
And a very uncharacteristic loss of yardage there from Thomas, but he broke 3 tackles in the process. They now go to Kevon Lee for the handoff. Flag throw near the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down near the 8-yard line for a gain of 3, but there's a penalty flag on the field.
And this one might come down to either a holding call.
It's going to be a holding call on Nick Elksness, the redshirt senior transfer from South Carolina. So far this season, only 60 yards, 6 catches, and 2 touchdowns. And in the running game there, get caught for holding. So they're going to bring it back. And it's going to be 3rd and long because of a decline penalty from head coach Timmy Chang.
And right here, Timmy Chang understanding that he knows that he needs to get this offense the football back. They're going to have an opportunity if UNLV can get off the field and not pick up this first down.
So 3rd and forever, 3rd and 17, ball at the 8, handoff up the middle. Lee getting to the outside, breaks the tackle, breaks a couple, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and is stopped at the 16. So it's going to be 4th and 9. Bring out the punting unit for Cam Brown.
And this Hawaii defense did exactly what they needed to do for this team. They were able to get this UNLV offense off the field. Even though Kevon Lee had all that hard running, it amounted to nothing, and they're able to get the football back and allow Micah Alejado to get another chance to put points on the board. And if you're UNLV, you like that you didn't put yourself in harm's way. You didn't have any interceptions or anything that was going to help this Hawaii team. Unfortunately, you had that penalty that set you back, but now you get to punt the ball away.
Cam Brown punting it from the 5. Bounces at the 45 in Hawaii territory. Fighting for extra yards. Gets to the outside. Unable to go down. Going backwards, and his forward progress will stop at the 38. And a late penalty flag by Kaihua and company Christensen as well. Another big-time penalty, another 15-yarder that are going to tack on after the end of that return there.
And that is due to not listening to the whistle. When you're growing up as a football player, you were taught to play to the whistle. And right there was numerous times for the UNLV defense would have to let go of the offensive player and not allow him to get down. But because they didn't do that, they were going to be penalized. But it looks like this one is going to go on Hawai'i.
A 42-yard punt from Cam Brown. And the ball will be spotted at the 41. So we're going to step aside here for the 2-minute timeout. UNLV leads 24-7 here in the 9th Island Showdown. Welcome back here inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Gray. Currently a 3-score game. UNLV leads 24-7, fresh off the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. And a good opportunity for Hawai'i to cut it down to a 2-score game and make it a 10-point lead deficit.
And right here, if you're Hawai'i, you have to execute. We've seen blown plays so far, not only with the penalties, but with drop touchdown passes on that last play with Michael Alejado and Brandon Wyatt not being able to connect. And if Hawai'i wants to be able to stay in this game, they have to understand that points, again, are going to be at a premium. They are going to have to get at least 3 points on the board because they know that they kicked the ball away at the start of the football game. They're going to be getting it back in the second half. They can build on something positive, but it has to start here on this drive and executing against a high-powered UNLV defense that has done a great job today and the last week as well.
I mean, this offense has exploded like a volcano tonight. 24 points in just the first half. And now the offense for Hawai'i comes out onto the field after the return from Wyatt. Christensen charged with that 15-yard unnecessary roughness. So the Hawai'i offense here will start at the UNLV 43, 1st and 10. Shotgun formation. Alejado handoff up the middle. Gets to the outside and brought down for maybe a gain of 1 from Barfield.
And there was nowhere to go for Barfield on that play because Marcel McDuffie read the delayed halfback draw completely all the way through. He was able to see and diagnose it was a run play, not a pass play, and he came downhill ready to make a tackle.
Alejado rolling out left, check down. Barfield going to the right side, has a lane, and brought down inside the 30 at the 27 for a gain of 16 from the catch and run there from Barfield.
And right there we see Michael Alejado being able to create outside the pocket. But once again, if he sees his check down, he's going to hit his guy every single time. But Hawai'i going hurry up tempo here.
Less than 90 seconds, trips left, shotgun formation. Alejado surveys the field, going to use his legs, running the right side, and slides down safely at the 26.
He's a very smart quarterback. The guy knows his game. He knows he's not 6'3", 225 pounds. He knows the kind of player that he is, but he still protects himself and makes something positive out of nothing.
I mean, Alo Tue Olemoto was coming at him like a seeking heat missile. Setting up here 2nd and 9. Alejado evades the pressure across the middle. Dropped on the play. Pofele Ashlock, who dropped an earlier pass on 3rd down. a guy that's been so reliable for this program. 58 catches on the season, 2 drops here tonight.
And you have to think that with that bye week off and going on the road, having to fly here to UNLV from Hawaii, these guys are not playing the same type and brand of football that we are accustomed to seeing from this wide receiver unit especially.
So now 3rd and 9, ball at the UNLV 26 with 54 seconds remaining. They are 2 of 4 on 3rd down. Trips left, shotgun formation. Alejado, pressure from behind, brought down behind the line of scrimmage, sacked there by Scanlon.
And this UNLV defense able to put pressure on Michael Alejado, and right when he believes that he's going to be able to step outside the pocket, amazing pursuit by Scanlon to be able to get him down to the ground and limit this Hawaii offense from getting 6 points on the board. They're going to have to settle for a field goal here.
So they now bring out Konsei Matsuzawa, a.k.a. the Tokyo Toe, halting from Tokyo, Japan, one of the best kickers in the nation. From 45 yards out, he has hit a perfect 22 of 22 so far. Snap good, hold good, kick has the distance, and through the uprights, of course. Now makes it a 2-score game. UNLV leads 24-10 with 5 seconds remaining here in the half.
And I love the poise right there by the Tokyo Toe offense. They're going to get the ball back in the second half, but for him to be able to come in poised, coming off a game where he had to have watched the tape of Utah State missing over 3 kicks against UNLV, for him to come in poised, ready to go for his team to get points on the board, you love to see it from the kicker on that play.
And Matsuzawa, that nickname coined by his long snapper, Jack Mowry. The origins of the Tokyo Toe is from him. He has been automatic all season long, and his story is so interesting. He began kicking at the age of 20 after attending an NFL game between the LA Rams and the then Oakland Raiders. He decided to pursue a career kicking and taught himself to kick through YouTube. Shout out YouTube University. He kicked for 2 seasons at Hawking College in Ohio while learning to speak English, and eventually ending up at Hawaii prior to the 2023 season. He is a senior now at 26 years old and has hit 23 field goals this season and has been an absolute monster. And he's now scored over 100 points throughout this season for Hawaii.
And what an amazing story for him to not only have a dream, but to set it out. We see so many people out here in this world not have something like that and be inspired to do things like that and not go out and complete it. He was able to do so and has been so consistent. And sometimes the best thing that you can do is take YouTube University and run with it. He's been able to do it so far for Hawaii, and he's going to be a guy they're going to call on again later on in this game, because the game is now over. There's still going to be 30 minutes of football left, and they're going to need him alongside Michael Alejado and this receiving core to bail out their quarterback and make some of these catches we're accustomed to seeing them make.
He now has over 100 points scoring in the Mountain West, 102 points total, and this guy leads the Mountain West by far. And the guy next up is Ramon Viella of UNLV, who's not too far behind him. Heading into this game, he had 99 points. Ramon Viella had 82, and he now has scored over 100 points on the season, far ahead of the competition. And what a tremendous story he has. He kicks the ball, actually, unfortunately, outside of play, out of bounds, and so they will enforce the kickoff. Once again, Matsuzawa will come out and will kick it from the 30-yard marker now.
And now we're playing the field position game now in this game, now that they had that flag on the play because of the ball going out of bounds. But with 5 seconds left, if you're UNLV, you have to keep the ball out of harm's way. You don't want any turnovers on the kick return team that could turn this game into something that is disastrous for UNLV. You want to continue to keep that 14-point cushion, but make a smart play if you're on that kick return team. Just simply kneel the ball down, take that QB kneel, and go into halftime with that 2-touchdown cushion.
Normally we see Jet Thomas and Jalen Glover back to receive the kick, and it's Jaden Bradley at the 5, returns it, gets to the outside, and brought down at the 24. And that return takes those 5 seconds off, and that's the end of the first half.
This UNLV team doing exactly what they needed to do to be able to come into this game and play with a lead. They didn't want to get into a shootout fest, and they've been able to do it because of the complementary football on both sides of the ball. Because of the defensive stops you've been able to see by this Paul Gunther-led group, it has allowed Corey Dennis in this offense not only pass it efficiently, but go back to the run. With over 14 combined runs from Jet Thomas and Kevon Lee, they've been able to impose their will on the offensive end, and they're going to have to do more of the same if they want to walk out the Ninth Island Bowl with that pineapple in hand.
30 minutes down as we head into halftime. UNLV leads 24-10 in the Ninth Island Showdown, looking to win 3 straight against Hawaii. Don't go anywhere. We have more action after the halftime break here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back here inside Allegiant Stadium in the Las Vegas Valley of Nevada. UNLV leads 24-10 in the Ninth Island Showdown. And during the halftime break, we had great music, great Hawaiian and Polynesian culture throughout the entire stadium. We were grooving it here inside the booth for a little bit, Johnny, but going to the field, a lot of grooves and moves from this Rebel offense and the defense as well, being able to hold Hawaii's potent offense to only 10 points. We got to start with Anthony Calandria, 193 yards, 2 passing touchdowns to be able to complement the 81 yards on the ground by his running backs as well.
And they've been doing a great job of not starting slow. We've seen this UNLV team come out and have games where there hasn't been a lot of bullets in the chamber. So far today, they've been able to come out guns blazing and come into this game with the type of focus and determination that you've seen from this team when they started 6-0 to start the season. And you can see that going and not playing out of a bye week like Hawaii is so far today, which has led to them being a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more hesitant, not playing the way that we have been used to seeing them play. They've had multiple missed balls and opportunities where wide receivers have dropped passes. And then on top of that, you also have them having 7 penalties that have amounted for 68 yards against them in this game. Going against a team the caliber of UNLV that is not going to cut it, they're going to have to clean it up and start with offense with Micah Alejado in this offense to start the third quarter.
And with that being said, head coach Timmy Chang of Hawaii is 2-5 in his career after the bye week. They've had 3 this season, and they are currently 1-1 so far after those games. They currently trail by 14. They will get the ball back in the second half. A lot at stake. Not only the Ninth Island Bowl, if you will, this trophy, the Golden Pineapple, but also a title eliminator for the Mountain West Championship game. 5 teams tied in second place here in the Mountain West. We take a look at the championship, the standings right now. San Diego State is alone at first at 5-1 in conference play, and then the rest follows. UNLV at second, Fresno State third, Hawaii fourth, New Mexico fifth, and Boise State sixth. Technically, they are all tied for second, but if tiebreakers and the season ended tonight, right now, it is San Diego State, UNLV, and all of the teams tied second are 4-2 in conference play. And this is the last 2 teams that will be playing each other that are tied currently. A lot at stake here. Winner is able to have a chance to remain hopeful for a berth in the championship game here tonight.
And there's going to be some big-time rivalry games that are going to be taking place over these next 2 weeks. And with those rivalry games, like you said, Wyatt, comes those playoff and Mountain West Championship implications. But if anything goes to show, you have to believe that a team like UNLV that has came out and come with a 14-point lead to start this second half has done exactly what they needed to do to separate themselves in the eyes of those in the Mountain West Conference.
And the kickoff here to open the second half goes into the back of the end zone. Kicked there by Caden Costa, the senior transfer. And so this Hawaii offense, which only put up 10 points in the first half and have averaged 30 so far this entire season, are looking to get back in the right direction. So momentum here early in the second half.
And it's going to have to start with some easy throws from Micah Alejado. Their offensive coordinator is going to have to make sure that he is comfortable back in the pocket and relieves the pressure of this UNLV defense.
Alejado in the offense will start 1st and 10 at their own 25. 3 seconds on the play clock, gets it off just in time. Pocket collapses using his legs, sliding forward at the 32, but there is a flag in the backfield, and it's likely to come back with a holding call.
And it is going to come back on a holding call, and it's all because of the pressure, once again, by this UNLV defensive line. And it starts with Touchet Adeleye. He is able to get to the quarterback or attempt to off the edge and forces number 52 Dean Brisky to have to take that holding call and back this offense up once again. And there's been more dysfunction for this Hawaii offense that has been so high-powered. But coming out of this bye week, they have been playing very sluggish and very uncharacteristic Hawaii brand of football today.
And that's the second holding call on Brisky, holding to Touchet Adeleye. So now it's 1st and 20, ball at their own 15. Alejado in the pocket. Hands in his face, collapses, running forward, and brought down near the 20, officially at the 21 for a gain of 6.
And if you're Paul Gunther in this UNLV defense, this is the type of game that you want to play. You don't want to allow Michael Alejado to go through his progressions and pick your defense apart, because that is when he's playing at his best. When he is not playing good, it is when he's having to do exactly what he did right there, which is stepping up in the pocket and trying to extend plays with his legs, because we know how dangerous he can be with his arm.
So now after that gain of 6 using his legs, Alejado set it up here, 2nd and 14, ball at their own 21-yard line. A minute has passed here in the third quarter. Alejado drops back, checks it down, and caught and brought down at the 24 is Sims for a gain of 3.
And as the slots in the arena go ching, 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 you have another Blessing in the backfield, being able to get him down on the ground. Blessing doing a great job from the linebacker position, understanding that Michael Alejado will take that check down time and time again. But if you're able to rally to the football like he did, you're able to set up a long 3rd and 11 for the Rebels. And once again, Paul Gunther is going to change up his looks and give Michael Alejado a different look on defense.
Now 3rd and 11 for Hawai'i. They only converted 2 of 5 in the first half. Let's see what they do here. Alejado scrambles to the right side, near sideline, intended for Wyatt. He falls down backwards, and penalty flags are thrown against Andrew Powdrell, which he didn't seem like he did anything there.
And right here, I think this was a pre-penalty on the play. I think the refs are going to pick this one up, because there was no marginal contact on that play for Andrew Powdrell.
As we go down to head honcho referee Christian Watson, they say unnecessary foul, face mask on the defense. So that's going to pick up a first down there for the Rainbow Warriors, a crucial pickup on 3rd and 11.
And right there, yes, at the very end, Andrew Powdrell grabbed Brandon White's face mask and tugs him, and it proceeded to mess up that pitch and catch for the Rainbow Warriors.
Now 13:08 here in the third quarter. Handoff. Sims to the right side, breaks the tackle, fighting for yards, and is stopped at the 41 by Chief Borders.
And Blessing Tuialamoto did a great job of forcing Blake Sims back into the middle of the or to the outside of the defense, and Chief Borders still manned up with the right tackle for Hawai'i in James Milavale, and he was able to make that sure-handed tackle and not allow Landon Sims to get outside of his frame, setting up only a 2-yard gain on first down.
Through 2 minutes of this drive, Hawai'i 2nd and 8 at their own 41. They trail by 14 here at the start of the second half. Alejado shotgun formation, widespread offense, looking right side, almost in the hands of Ashlock, but just too high, and it's going to be incomplete pass, setting up 3rd down.
And that looked to be a miscommunication between Ashlock and Michael Alejado on that play. He had Brandon White also going with a wheel route up the outside of the numbers, and it was great coverage on the outside by Andrew Powdrell, forced the ball to be incomplete. And once again, UNLV in a 3rd and 8 situation, they're going to have to look to put a spy on Michael Alejado, knowing that he has used his legs to try to make and extend plays so far today.
And another big 3rd down here early in the second half, down by 14. Quick check down to the left side, cuts back in, and is brought down near the line of scrimmage, unable to go anywhere. Barfield is stopped on 3rd down, so bring out the punting unit for Hawai'i.
And the leader of the UNLV defense, Marcel McDuffie, in cover zero, man-to-man defense across the board, does not allow the explosive Barfield to be able to move and jump cut outside of his frame. He's able to make a sure-handed tackle from that linebacker position to give this UNLV offense the football back. Paul Gunther and those guys have to be fired up on the sideline to get off the field and give Ant-Man the football back.
How about Jalen Lee from the interior defensive lineman position being able to show his athleticism and get out in space and bring him down as well. Punt here from Gowers. Irvin back. Fair caught at the 12-yard line. And that's where the UNLV offense will come out for their first drive of the second half. UNLV gets a stop on the defensive end. They still lead 24-10. 11:32 remains here in the third quarter from Allegiant Stadium. Welcome back in Las Vegas here inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. 11:32 remaining here in the third quarter. The opening drive in this second half for Hawaii. You're hoping, if you're a Rainbow Warrior fan, that you're seeing something different. Go to the halftime break, get a little energy, revitalize, and get something going, and they're just unable to do so. Credit this UNLV defense. They're able to come out and still remain just stout as they have been in the first half.
And they've done a great job of making sure that Michael Alejado was uncomfortable in the pocket. There's numerous times on that last drive where he had to step up and create opportunities with his legs, and when they're doing that, not only is it messing up his rhythm with his wide receivers, but it's allowing this pressure to continue to understand that they can impose their will on this game. Now, with the UNLV offense back on the field, they need to continue a lot of the same success we saw from them in the first half. They have an opportunity here to go up 3 scores if they get a touchdown out of this drive. Big play call and big drive here for the Rebels.
So now UNLV's offense will start at the 12, 1st and 10. 2 tight ends off the left side. Bradley, the motion man from behind. Handoff off the left side. Thomas fighting for yards and is officially brought down near the 16-yard line for a gain of 4 or 5.
And I know we're here at Raiders Stadium, home of the AFC West, when they are here and they're going out to play. But right now, this UNLV Rebel football team has been committed to running the football. And that's what they're going to need to do in these last 30 minutes to win this game. They have to be able to assert their dominance at the line of scrimmage, and they're doing so today with Jet Thomas and Kevon Lee.
So after the 5-yard gain from Jet Thomas, 2nd and 5, ball at their own 17. UNLV leads by 14. Quick check down. Thomas right side, makes a man miss, and falls forward at the 25 for a gain of 8.
And every single play call, it seems like Corey Dennis has a sheet on his desk called Coach Suggestions. This is what you have on Madden. He's doing a great job of giving his playmakers the ball and letting them make the plays. That's exactly what you want to do, which is why Anthony Calandria has had such a high completion percentage. It's easy pitch and catch, easy plays to call.
Originally a full pistol formation, now motions out of it. Calandria shotgun formation. Hand off Thomas to the right side. Keep going to the well. And he's stopped at the 28 for a gain of 3.
And I love the pre-snap movement and audibles that they've been doing with a lot of their formations. Going from that pistol formation, then you're setting up and you're only having Anthony Calandria and Jet Thomas in the gun. It's giving the defense so many different looks and so many different guys that they have to account for. So when the play actually comes, they don't know which guy is actually going to get the ball.
Brought down by King on the previous play. Now sets up 2nd and 7. Trips left. Handoff Thomas up the middle. Cuts back to the right side. Falling forward. And because he fell on a defender, that might have been enough for a first down.
Right here, it's going to come down to the spot of the ball by the referees. But Jet Thomas on the year is averaging 7.6 yards a carry. When you have a guy like that in your backfield that is basically 3/4 of the chunk for a first down every time he touches the ball on a rush, that is such an explosive weapon for any offense. Any offense in the country would love to have him on his team.
And they are half a yard short, 3rd and 1. Handoff Kevon Lee to the right side, picks up the first down, carrying the pile forward. He's still moving at the 39, going to the side, and that's where the forward progress will stop. A strong run again from Kevon Lee here tonight after a 5-yard carry for the first.
Meat and potatoes, Wyatt, is the name of the game for this UNLV football team. They are showing what happens when you start a team in the spring and you work with your strength and conditioning coach to get you to this point where you can go out on the football field and feast. Kevon Lee able to move the entire pocket, over 600 pounds of men, and move the pocket for a first down.
A lot of tonnage there. Play action. Calandria evades the sack. Looking, scrambling around, throws it to the side. Far sideline caught by Lee at the 44. That's why Ant-Man has been a superhero all season long for plays that look like they're going to die. And he's able to deliver a 6-yard pass to Kevon Lee.
And it looks like Ant-Man is going to need to get his awareness upgraded on College Football 26, because on that play, he was able to know and have eyes in the back of his head and not get sacked on the play. Turn that into a positive with the check down to Kevon Lee.
So they credit him for a 5-yard catch for Lee. So 2nd and 5, ball at their own 44. Shotgun formation. Calandria steps back to Lee now in the flat, checking down, running up the field, loses the ball. It's loose. Multiple Hawaii defenders and a pile inside the 50. And it looks like Hawaii has the ball, and they're going to recover a costly turnover, but a huge momentum shift potentially for the Rainbow Warriors here.
Big time play right there, and a textbook punch out by the University of Hawaii and number 52, Luther McCoy, coming from that defensive line position and not giving up on the play. They had Kevon Lee get to the second level, but because of the perfect Peanut Tillman punch out, they're able to give this offense the football back, and Hawaii with some life here in this game.
24-10, 7:33 remains. Hawaii has the ball on the other side. A 10-yard pass to Kevon Lee ends up from a fumble at the 50-yard line, forced by Luther McCoy and recovered by Devin King of Hawaii. So the offense will take over at their own 46-yard line with 7:33 remaining here in the third quarter. They trail by 14, and this was a desperating moment that they have recovered the ball and have an opportunity to shift this momentum here for the Rainbow Warriors.
And head coach Timmy Chang for the Rainbow Warriors has to be absolutely ecstatic to get a shot in the arm of life for a team on offense that came out to start this game on the third quarter with a 3-and-out to get this football back and get another opportunity. We saw what UNLV was able to do with that interception of Michael Alejado and put 6 on the board for the Rebels. Hawaii is going to have to do the same exact thing and make a favor for this defense if they want to put themselves back in a good position in this game.
So now 1st and 10 at their own 46. Alejado in this offense taking the field. 7:33 remains. Shotgun formation. Alejado dropping back, surveys the field. Quick pass to the near sideline. Steps out of bounds at the 48 for a gain of 6.
That's another great job by Michael Alejado. Again, he's never going to force the ball in the harm's way. Yes, that interception got tipped, but right here, he simply takes the outside receiver, number 80, Blaze Kamaku, being able to hit him right there on the simple check down. He's able to pick up 6 yards out of that pitch and catch.
6-yard catch there by Blaze Komoku, the junior from Kapolea, Oahu. 2nd and 4 here. Alejado shotgun formation, surveys the field. Pressure across the middle, caught. Harris trying to pick up the first down, but is tackled short of the 45. And it's going to be 3rd down and short.
That's a great job rallying to the football by Edmondson and Andrew Powdrill, understanding that, yes, we allowed the receiver to make the catch, but that doesn't mean we have to give up on the play. They were able to make the tackle on Jackson right before he could get to the line of gain, and now a big 3rd and 1 call. We're going to see how aggressive Hawaii is going to be if it's going to be 2-down territory for them.
3rd and 1, ball at the UNLV 45, and this might be 4-down territory depending how this play goes. Play action to the flat, caught, turning upfield, steps out of bounds smartly at the 40 is Brandon Wyatt for the first down.
And I love that play call by offensive coordinator Anthony Arsenault to give a guy who's had some troubles in this game a chance to pick up a big fourth down, and he does exactly that. They get Brandon Wyatt out of the backfield. He's able to pick up the first down and keep the chains moving, knowing that the University of Hawaii needs to get points out of this drive.
Now 1st and 10 at the UNLV 40. Less than 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. UNLV still leads by 14. Alejado handoff up the middle to Sims. And he's able to pick up a couple yards. Brought down at the 37 for a gain of 3.
And Egbase on that right edge, being able to make that tackle on the running back. As an edge defender, everything isn't always going to be about rushing the passer. Yes, they get their money and they earn everything that they have out of getting to the quarterback, but you still have to do your job in the run fit. He was able to do that, hold Hawaii to 3 yards, but I like to see Hawaii not abandoning the run game, being able to still have these running backs be a vital part of this offense today.
2nd and 7, ball at the UNLV 37. 2-minute drive here so far. Screen, caught, no. Dropped there by Barfield. He had an opportunity to catch and run for some lead blockers ahead of him as well, which would have been at least a big chunk for Hawaii, but unable to capitalize, and it's now 3rd and 7.
And it starts with a safety unit for UNLV. Both Jake Pope and Jaheim Joseph, good to see him back on the football field healthy, reading and knowing exactly what was going on in that play. They had both Landon Sims and Cam Barfield in the backfield trying to make a play for the Rainbow Warriors. They both did a great job of reading it, and now big 3rd down call once again for the Rainbow Warriors.
5:03 here in the third. UNLV 24-10. 3rd and 7. Alejado, pressure in the backfield, going backwards and sacked on the play. Amaris Brown for a huge play.
And Amaris Brown, the nickelback, the star of the defense for UNLV, saying in the backfield, dig him up, and get him out the dirt with a big-time sack. And the pressure started with Edmondson coming right up the middle in the A-gap, forcing Micah Alejado to have to pivot outside the pocket, and Paul Gunther showing the belief and trust in his defense to be able to get after the quarterback on a big 3rd down call with a blitz rush right up the gut. Great job right there in execution by the UNLV defense once again.
Punting unit comes out, a 12-yard loss there. Punting unit seemed like they were in a huddle for a little longer there. They might have something going on. A flag thrown all the way back where D'Angelo Irvin is at the 10-yard line. And a delay of game on the offense for Hawaii. So give a little bit more room for Gowers to be able to punt this one.
Exactly, Wyatt. Right here, they're just trying to play smart, strategic football. But if you're Timmy Chang in this offense, you have to be knowing that you had an opportunity. Once again, the defense was able to give you the football back with that fumble. But this UNLV defense has been shot and absolutely phenomenal today against Hawaii.
The punt from Gowers, fair caught at the 15-yard line by Irvin. And so UNLV's offense will come out once again here in the second half. They lead 24-10 from Allegiant Stadium here in the Las Vegas Valley. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sportsnet. Welcome back here in Las Vegas inside the Death Star. UNLV leads 24-10. 4:08 remains here in the third quarter. Got caught up in the break watching the Jumbotron and our very own Donovan Hicks, his father 10, getting on the dance cam and showing off his moves. Love to see if Donovan Hicks can match that same energy at some point. Maybe we can get him on Rebel Report Live or some social clip or something. But anyways, back to the action. UNLV's offense is coming out onto the field starting at their own 15. No scores here so far in the second half. 4:08 remains here in the third quarter. An exciting first half, a slower third quarter. But if you're UNLV, you're not mad at that because you're still up by 14.
No, and a lot of the people that were predicting this game did not see UNLV to be up 14 points and only holding Hawai'i to 10 points now with 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in this third quarter. It's because of the great job by Paul Gunther's UNLV defense. Now this offense has an opportunity to have a backbreaker at this point in the game to push that lead to potentially 3 scores.
So 1st and 10 at their own 15. Calandria, his own keeper, has a lane, cuts back inside, goes to the other side of the field, almost breaks a tackle, and falls down at the 35 after a gain of 20 using his legs.
And Corey Dennis understands that there's a reason Anthony Calandria is the second leading rusher on the season for UNLV. He knows the weapon that he has in the backfield with number 10, and he calls his name and his number on that play. He's able to use the QB draw and allow him to get out in space, and the biggest part, Anthony Calandria taking care of the football. No fumbles for behind this time for the Rebels.
3 minutes and 30 seconds here in the third quarter. 1st and 10, ball at their own 35. McGee, the motion man. Calandria, designated rollout right, looking far sideline for Bradley. He has the ball in his hands. Does his feet get down? It does. It's another first down for UNLV at the 47-yard line.
And Jaden Bradley has been doing an absolute wide receiver masterclass after that drop earlier in this game. With blanket coverage on the sideline by number 14, Wilson Jones, what does he do? He extends his arms out, catches it with 2 hands, not catches it with his body. He catches it with his body there. It's a drop. But he does a great job of showing teach tape of how to catch contested catches at the catch point if you are a wide receiver.
As time continues to tick, less than 3 minutes here, 3 on the play clock. Calandria gets it off, 1st and 10 and shotgun formation. Pressure hit as he throws across the middle, intended for Irvin, but it's too low as he hits as he's delivering that pass.
And I love the ability from Ant-Man, even with the pressure in his face, to not take a sack in that scenario, but be able to get the ball off and live to fight another down. The stadium is lively. UNLV's offensive team is moving down the field, and there's a swag surf going on as we speak, and a swag surf right next to me with Wyatt Touchet on the call today. But the Rebels continue with 2nd and 10 here.
You're absolutely right. Lean with it and rock with it. Shotgun formation, trips left, handoff up the middle. Thomas breaks a tackle or 2. Fighting for extra yards inside Hawai'i territory and brought down at the 41. The crowd is feeling it. The O-line is feeling it. Jet Thomas is feeling himself and getting jiggy out on the field.
He's getting jiggy. He's getting wavy. Speaking of swag surfing, he's able to move up the field and bounce off multiple defenders like a pinball to get to the second level. And UNLV, again, not abandoning the run game and understanding where they can dominate Hawai'i today.
Ball at the 41 on 1st and 10. Handoff. Thomas breaks outside. More tackles being broken, carrying a couple men, and finally brought down at the 30-yard line for a gain of 11.
And once again, we see the contact balance by Jet Thomas. He runs into his own offensive lineman, bounces off of him, gets to the outside, and picks up another first down for the Rebels. And that goes to show there's a reason why this guy averages 7.6 yards a carry. It's because of his willingness and his ability to not get taken down by the first contact. That's what you want to see from any level of running back play. You want to see them be able to have contact balance and keep their legs churning.
1st and 10 at the 30 in Hawai'i territory. Shotgun formation. Calandria drops back, going deep, intended for Omire. Contact, intentional pass interference there inside the end zone. So this offense will move forward in the red zone. Great play design there by Corey Dennis.
And Corey Dennis, understanding that he has that big body weapon in Troy O'Meara, and he can deploy him at any time. Man-to-man coverage across the board, and Devin King is just too small for Troy O'Meara, and he gets there a little bit too early on the defensive pass interference call, and the referees are going to call it time and time again. Another 15-yard pickup for the Rebels. The chains keep moving, and they are continuing to keep this clock running with a minute and 11 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Ball's placed at the Hawaii 15-yard line. 1st and 10 here. 1 minute and 11 seconds remains in the third quarter. UNLV leads by 14 in the red zone. Option, kicks it out. Thomas trying to get the edge, cuts back inside at the numbers and falls down inside the 10. He falls on the leg of D'Angelo Irvin, and it hit him in the back, and he's slow to get up, holding his backside, but he is able to get up, and he looks like he might come off the field here.
He's like, Jet Thomas just needs a breather on that play. There's been a lot of contact and a lot of physicality on the field, but there's another Rebel down on the field right now.
And that is Jet Thomas. He fell back down as he was trying to walk off. So we're going to step aside here with 46 seconds in the third quarter with an injury timeout. So far through this drive for UNLV, 6 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes of time of possession so far. They started at their own 15. They're on the Hawaii 10 and then knocking the door down, hopefully here, moments away from it on 2nd and 5 with 46 seconds remaining with a 14-point lead.
And if you're looking at the disparities and how successful both of these teams have been, and it probably goes down to a lot of the rhythm when we're looking at these teams. Hawaii, 156 total yards in this game. That is absolutely uncharacteristic of the success and the explosiveness that we previewed before this game even started. And for UNLV on the opposite end, 376 total yards of offense today, 228 through the air with Anthony Calandria, and 148 rushing yards on the day. They have absolutely been able to do whatever they wanted on both sides of the offense and on defense as well today.
And for context, for what you mentioned, partner, they have 156 total yards entering the fourth quarter. They normally average over 400 yards. And so with that being said, they're looking at offense that is potent and is on fire right now. Empty formation, 2nd and 5 at the Hawaii 10. Calandria looking, fires across the middle, connects Jaden Bradley, and he's stopped and leveled at the 1-yard line. Absolutely big hit there from the defense.
Big time tackle to not allow Jaden Bradley to get into the end zone. But I love the option route that Corey Dennis gives his number 1 receiver. And because of the big time tackle by their leading tackler, Peter Manuma, they're able to force UNLV to have to go with another fresh set of downs. But they limit them from getting in the end zone. But what a great job en route by Jaden Bradley to not only get that pitch and catch, but take the big hit by Manuma.
And as that catch rolls the clock out at the end of the third. We will go to the beginning of the fourth. Fortunately, the play before that, Jaden Thomas was able to get up and assisted by the athletic training staff and medical team. 45 minutes down, 15 to go here for the 9th Island Showdown, and the Rebels lead by 14 here from Allegiant Stadium.
Bro, I got to.
Here in the sports capital of the world, the 9th Island Showdown. 15 minutes of play remain. The beginning of the fourth quarter, UNLV leads 14-10, and the best show in town is at the 2-yard line, ready to punch it in for 6. Here inside Allegiant Stadium, Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves, beginning of the fourth quarter here, 24-10, UNLV leads. They have the ball at the 1.5-yard line, and they're ready to punch it in right now. Calandra here, shotgun formation, Glover on his left hip. Now motioning it to his right. Heavy set bunch on the left side now. Motion, play action, looking, corner to the end zone. It's caught. He's in. Touchdown Rebels. Day Reynolds with the catch.
Day Reynolds in the back corner of the end zone, being able to run that play action pass and that spray release to the outside on the corner route, and he's able to start the fourth quarter with an absolute exclamation point. And for the UNLV Rebels, it might be a nail in the coffin in a game where they have came out and absolutely stunned the Rainbow Warriors. And if you look outside today, it is stormy, it is gloomy, and it is not the kind of environment Hawaii expected coming into Allegiant today.
I mean, all this week it has been raining from the storms from California moving into here, and we saw a couple rainbows, a bit of foreshadowing here in Las Vegas, and UNLV takes a 31-10 lead with 5 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. More action here on Rebel Sports Net. 8 plays, 85 yards, 4 minutes and 13 seconds on that drive for the Rebels on a 1-yard pass to Day Reynolds from Anthony Calandria, and the commanding lead here in the Ninth Island Showdown, 31-10. UNLV leads here with 14:55 remaining in the fourth.
And Day Reynolds with that touchdown catch. There was just DMX blasting in the arena here at Allegiant Stadium. And you have to know on the sideline, he's woofing at his guys. Whoa, where my dogs at? Being able to come here against the Rainbow Warriors and absolutely dominate and be aggressive. They have came out and shown that a lot of those bye-week woes that we've seen from this UNLV team have worked their way out. And it looks like Hawai'i has came out and they've had a lot of the same struggles we've seen from that UNLV team, and they put themselves in a deficit, being down 21 points here in this game. Now, the game script is out the window. They're going to have to push the ball downfield with Micah Alejado and see if he has what it takes to potentially will his team back.
For those of you at home listening in, I'm looking at our board operator, Marcus Bray, and the looks on our faces are just confused. It's better than the 6-7 jokes that we've heard all season long from Johnnie. And hearing a DMX reference with the barking on air is a first-timer that I never thought I'd hear. But hey, here we are, live broadcast. 31-10, the return here. Stopped before the 20. A great tackle there from Justin Flo, your guy, Johnnie.
And that's a dog right there. Justin Flo going crazy on the sideline. We seen last year when he was at the University of Arizona, him go viral for some of the crash out mentality he has. And no matter where he is on the football field, he's going to play with energy, with lively effort, and he's able to make a big time tackle on special teams for the Rebels.
And that return there from Barfield stopped at the 18. And that's where this Hawaii offense will begin. First and 10, 14:50 remains. They are down by 3 scores, 31-10. Alejado here, empty formation in shotgun. Looking to find some life for the Rainbow Warriors. Steps back, pressure, pocket collapses, going to use his legs. Past the 25, hit as he slides. No flags, and he's down at the 25 for a gain of 5.
And if you do know, Wyatt, Micah Alejado is actually a dual sport athlete. The guy was playing baseball when he was at Gorman and potentially almost played at the University of Hawaii. And it goes to show when he goes and he takes off, he does a great job of taking care of his body, being able to slide down and limit those hard hits on him.
So now 2nd and 3 after a gain of 7. Handoff to Barfield up the middle to the right side. Stops short of the first down marker, but gets a gain of 2.
And right there, you have Blessing Tua Alamoto being able to get to the quarter, get down, and make a tackle once again. You see him filling in the gaps on that linebacker position. Him and Marcel McDuffie have been all over the football field today. UNLV is going to be able to get their subs in because of Hawai'i subs. But again, another big third down situation for the Rainbow Warriors.
Pistol formation here, 3rd and 1. Handoff to the outside, and the backfield breaks the tackle, stops short, it's 4th down. Great defensive effort here from UNLV.
And another Blessing in the backfield once again, getting a big time stop for the UNLV Rebels, and he is able to do that. He was able to bring down Christian Vaughn, another running back and another guy coming from Las Vegas who used to play at Bishop Gorman as well. But you have this guy getting down to the ground and forcing the Rainbow Warriors into a tough spot, 4th and 1, knowing they need points. Let's see what Paul Gunther has to call up here.
Great desperation. It looks like it's going to be a direct snap, and it is. Up the middle, stopped short potentially. It will come down to the marker. Alualu Tuiolimoto gets in the backfield, and we're waiting on the referee's spot on the Wildcat grab. The ball spotted at the 27 3/4 of an inch yarder.
They might have to
pull
pull out the
index. At the 28, Johnnie.
Yes, and they might have to pull out the index card for this one. We know we don't have any type of eagle eye cam to know where the ball is going to be placed on the field, and this one is going to be very close. They're moving the chains out as we speak.
And the chain gang is coming out. The ball is spotted at the 27 3/4 yard marker. And as they are doing so, the desperation from this Hawaii team, knowing they're down 21, they are short. Rebel Nation erupts here inside Allegiant Stadium. A great stop by this defense, led by Blessing Alualu Tuiolemotu, who's the one that got the stop.
The Blessing in the backfield, ready to blow the roof off of Allegiant Stadium with that fourth down stop and give this high potent offense the football back. What a great job by this UNLV defense to know where the line to gain was and make a play in the backfield. This team is well on their way to trying to push and punch their berth in the Mountain West Championship, and it's been an absolute phenomenal display on offense and defense for this Dan Mullen-led football team.
And Johnny, think about it. This is a team at one point through a 3-game stretch that was averaging and allowing 48 points per game, and in the last two, tonight so far only 10. Last week against against Utah State, they only allowed 26 in that double OT thriller. The week before, 10 points against Colorado State. They have absolutely picked up their play, and it's on display here in the most crucial time in the season.
And you have to think, it goes back to going through all those bye weeks and having to play and then not play. And it messes up your rhythm, especially as a defense. As a defense, you want to play cohesive. You want to have guys that are going to communicate and know where each other are on every single down. And since in these last 3 games from what we've seen from this UNLV team, they have done a great job with Paul Gunther with disguising their looks, forcing more pressure, using the talent of the defensive back secondary to get their hands on turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, and that has led to them being in this point in the football game and has allowed this team to rally after back-to-back losses against Boise State and New Mexico.
Currently, as we speak, the referees are looking at the replay of the last play as Cam Barfield, stopped by Blessing Alualu Tuiolemotu, double-checking the spot from that play. And as they brought the chain gang out, they were short, but they're doing a thorough checkup here. Both coaches on the sideline discussing with their team how they're going to move forward. Head coach Timmy Chang for the University of Hawaii and head coach Dan Mullen for UNLV. Head coach Dan Mullen is feeling pretty good in the spot that they have because their next game is another rivalry game, one that's pretty much old as time for this program, and this college has been founded on the University of Nevada, Las Vegas against the University of Nevada, Reno for the fight of the Fremont Cannon. And I'll tell you this, we've been celebrating seniors tonight. It is our last game here at Allegiant Stadium, awaiting potential playoff implications with championship games and everything. But this could very well be a turning point in the season, going to get the Fremont Cannon, which has been scarlet red ever since I've been here as a freshman, just to point that one out. So since 2022, it has been scarlet red.
And you have to believe for Dan Mullen, he wants it to continue to be the same thing. He wants to go with a clean sweep. No matter who has been the coach for this team, you know the UNLV Rebels are looking forward to that UNR matchup in Reno and hoping to shush that crowd when they go out there.
Yep, next week on the 29th, that'll be a 6 p.m. kickoff at Reno, the final game of the regular season. Now 1st and 10 here. Wildcat formation. Earl gets the direct snap, cuts back inside after going to the left, wide open lane, and he walks into the end zone on the first play of this drive. Touchdown Rebels, a 27-yard strike on a creative Wildcat play.
And JoJo Earl finally able to get into the end zone and get in on the fun for the Rebels. He was the guy I highlighted at the beginning of the season that is a spark plug on offense. They're going back to another play. They had a play call like this in the first half that didn't amount to much, but they go back to it and show that they trust JoJo Earl to make a play. He's able to follow his lead blockers. It was good to see Jet Thomas, who was down on the previous drive, out there on the field, lead blocking for him, and JoJo Earl able to extend this lead to 27, potentially 28 points on the Costa PAT attempt.
And the PAT from Viella is good. UNLV with a commanding lead, and that was likely the nail in the coffin in this one. 38-10, 12:49 remains here in the fourth, here on Rebel Sports Net. One play, 27 yards in 6 seconds. House call from JoJo Earl on the Wildcat play this season, since 2012. There's been so much struggles on road games for Hawaii. 18 and 61 away from home. This season, 2 of 2. This is their 5th road game tonight, and it just has not been able to be something that they were able to turn history around and make it right for themselves. Hawaii trails by 28. 12:49 remains here in the fourth quarter. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves here inside Allegiant Stadium. An absolutely demoralizing game here tonight with an opportunity to still remain hopeful in the championship title berth situation. An elimination game tonight, and Hawaii's on the wrong end of the stick here.
And it goes to show that sometimes there's no place like home if you're the University of Hawaii, especially going away from the Sunshine State. And it's definitely not been all sunshine and rainbows today against a UNLV Rebel team that was determined to show who they really were on the football field today. We've seen this Hawaii football team have so much success against a very tough San Diego State team. They forced their quarterback to have 2 different interceptions. I'm sorry, it's not the Sunshine State, it's the Aloha State. Sunshine State is Florida. But we know that for this UNLV football team, they came in here determined to show and put on a statement for not only Hawaii, but for the rest of the Mountain West, that they are still here to play, and they have done so today, Wyatt.
1st and 10 at the 20. The return there by Barfield now sets up this offense to try to make something here in garbage time.
And you got to think this UNLV defense has defended the 9th Island incredibly today. They have done a great job on all 3 phases of the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary.
Alejado shotgun formation spread offense here. They're going to hand the ball off. Vaughn up the middle and picks up a gain of 7, brought down at the 27.
Right here, they're going to continue to give the ball to Christian Vaughn and allow him to be another wrinkle in this offense. You have to understand at this point in the football game, Hawaii is down by a lot. They will need a lot to go their way. And if they want to call their way back, they're going to have to pass the ball downfield at some point.
So on 2nd down, Vaughn again up the middle, able to move the chains and brought down at the 32 after a gain of 5. We take a look at the schedule for this weekend. Boise State at home against Colorado State. New Mexico on the road against Air Force. San Diego State at home against San Jose State. Fresno State at home against Utah State. That's the update for this week. Some possible opportunities for some upsets and some close games between the teams that are tied for 2nd in a 5-way tie. One of them being settled here in Las Vegas. Quick screen. Tried to be tackled from behind, breaks it, and officially brought down by McDuffie at the 44.
Good job by Sims being able to take that halfback screen and get as many yards as he can. But Marcel McDuffie, the senior, once again, right where he needs to be at that linebacker position, cleaning up a mistake by Edmondson, not being able to make up that tackle.
And the designated screen for Sims. Able to move the chains now. Ball at the 44. Hand off to Sims. Blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Mumu bin Wahad. And Amaris Brown getting back there and blowing that play up.
Mumu bin Wahad and Amaris Brown, both of those nickel cornerbacks, being able to get in the backfield and make a big-time tackle on Sims. They have shown they're not afraid to get their nose dirty. You don't usually see cornerbacks of that caliber want to go up and tackle, but they are big-time players in this defense.
Empty formation here. Alejado looks left side, connects. Delgadillo brought down at the UNLV 46-yard line, and that's enough for a 1st down. They're going to move the chains here.
And Delgadillo, coming from St. Louis School in Hawaii, in Oahu. This is a big-time football school with his first catch in the game today, recognizing the zone coverage by UNLV, sitting in the hole, and Michael Alejado once again finding him, being able to eat up that zone coverage.
Now on 1st down with time, Alejado checked down to Vaughn, and he spun around, brought down at the 41. Tackle there by Edmondson.
And right there, Michael Alejado, again, he's known for being a check down artist when you're looking at this offense and what he's going to do at the quarterback position. When he's going to see the ball, he's at his best when he's not putting the ball in the harm's way. And he's done that, 14 for 21 today. But UNLV altogether has done a great job of containing him with his arm.
So now after that 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 at the UNLV 41. Quick out to the right side. Papunu, his first catch of the day, steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And that's enough for a first down for Hawai'i.
That's the first time we've heard Carson Papunu's name so far today. And he's just able to take that simple 8-yard stop route and pick up the first down for Hawai'i. And this is the most success we've seen them have so far today, and it's due to a lot of the off-man coverage Paul Gunther is playing with this defense right now.
9-10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Keeper here by Alejado going to the right side, sliding at the 28 for a gain of 5.
Right there, Michael Alejado once again being able to use his legs to try to make the most out of any opportunity that he has. And again, taking care of his body, knowing that they still have one more game to go in their Mountain West schedule. And he's able to take that slide down and pick up as many yards as possible.
This is the greatest impression this UNLV team could have made tonight against the squad that is 7-3 on the season and blown up in the backfield. Patterson hit him so hard, it's roughing the passer. Oh my goodness. Patterson and Amaris Brown absolutely coming with intention.
This UNLV defense, it looked like a car crash out there on the field just now. You had 5 free rushers get to Michael Alejado, and he's very lucky to have gotten up. You had Mumu Bin Wahad and Amaris Brown in on it once again. Amaris Brown able to dig him up, slime him out, and get the big-time sack for the Rebels.
And referees, after throwing the flags, are conferring on the field. Our head honcho, head referee of the night, Christian Watson, talking to his crew, his center judge, Scott Johnson, and if they're going to enforce this penalty and what they're going to do.
And I think they called it a little bit too early on that play. I think a lot of it was them seeing and making maybe the play looking a little bit worse than it actually was. There wasn't anything malicious there from Amaris Brown on that sack. It just was a very, not gruesome, but just a very physical football play. And plays like that, the referees want to make sure they're using player safety.
Absolutely. Player safety is the utmost importance, not malicious in a sense of trying to hurt somebody, but they had ill intention on that play there. My goodness, a car crash was the best description for that, Johnny.
100% Wyatt.
Score is now 38-10. Currently, clock has stopped at 8:32. The referees are still conferring on the field. It's 2nd and 5 awaiting the result. And there is no foul for roughing the passer or unnecessary roughness. So a loss of 8 on the sack there by Patterson and Amaris Brown, who lit up Alejado. So the ball is placed at the UNLV 36.
And if I'm UNLV, Paul Gunther, Dan Mullen, I'm making sure that at this point in the game, 8 minutes left, I need my guys to stay healthy. Whether that be put the subs in at this point in the game, knowing you have the game firmly in your hand, you do that because you know you have a lot of games left to play, and especially this Reno game left to play.
Trips left, intended for the right side. Papunu broken up and deflected by Paldro. Great defensive back play by Andrew.
Andrew Paldro, at only 5'10", 180 pounds, he plays so much bigger than that on the outside. He's able to lock up, put the seatbelt on, and absolutely blanket coverage, no defensive pass interference, but right in the receiver's hip pocket. That's exactly what you want to see if you are any cornerback trying to learn how to play DB. He was doing exactly what he needed to do. And Hawai'i, once again, forced to go for it on 4th down. The Rebels with a big opportunity to blow this stadium up.
Trail by 28, 4th and 13. Their second 4th down attempt of the night. Rolling out left, has to heave it up. Overthrown, intended for Harris. And it's going to be turnover on downs. Another great defensive stop for UNLV tonight.
Quandarius Keys with beautiful coverage and did not get too handsy at the end. Did not bail out Michael Alejado with a silly defensive pass interference call and sets up a big-time stop for the Rebels once again.
38-10, 8:11 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Commanding lead for the Rebels once again. Here from Allegiant Stadium, you're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves here on the call. Here in the fourth quarter, 8:11 remains, and UNLV has a 28-point lead. It is their largest lead of the night, and they are on pace to set the record for the most points by victory against the University of Hawaii. Their largest margin of victory came back all the way in 1974, a 25-point win, 33-8 against the Rainbow Warriors, and tonight they lead by 28 here tonight, partner.
And Wyatt, if you're looking at this team and the way that they have came out on senior night to go out this way, it speaks so much to how much this team is really a band of brothers. Anthony Calandria numerous times in post-game press conferences has talked about how all these guys love each other. They go out to eat together all the time, and you can see it. You can see it with the way that they play for one another, how they have responded to those back-to-back losses against Boise State and New Mexico, and how they've been committed to playing complementary football for the last 3 weeks, and has led to them being such a big target and a big team in terms of the Mountain West Conference that there's going to be a lot of conversations to be had when their bid for the Mountain West Championship is up.
So the UNLV offense starts at the 21-yard line, trips right in shotgun formation. Calandria, handoff, Glover up the middle. Big chunk there, brought down at the 27 for a gain of 6.
And we've seen this UNLV offense. We've seen this before with Jalen Glover and how they have deployed him at the end of football games and how he has came in, and anytime he gets the ball in his possession, he's going to make the most of his opportunities. He's able to do that right now. UNLV has their second team offense in with all the receivers and the running backs. Let's see what they can do on this drive.
Expecting a lot of runs here. Trips right again. Shotgun formation here. Glover still on the right hip of Calandria. Now 2nd and 4. Head off to Glover again. Left side, cuts back into the middle, dragging the pile to the left towards the numbers, and is stopped at the 30-yard line for a gain of 3.
Right here, just more hard running. You want to continue to keep that clock running and keep guys healthy. Most importantly, Anthony Calandria, knowing how important he is to this team.
Quick to the line, handoff Glover, picks up the first down for a gain of 2, stopped at the 32. And the clock continues to tick with 7 minutes here. UNLV leads 38-10.
And UNLV is going to continue to do this. They have the game in hand, but there's going to be a lot of things when you're looking at the teach tape for both sides about still playing clean football. You want to continue to play smart football and build on good habits. UNLV has been able to do so in the last 3 weeks, which is why they are at this point against Hawaii right now.
Currently with 6:35 and ticking here in the fourth quarter. Trips right again, same formation. Now roll out right, Calandria looking, quick pass, connects. Danny Reynolds at the 40, running, breaks the tackle, and falls down at the 48 for a gain of 16.
Danny Reynolds right there was looking like number 3 for the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens on that play, being able to explode, find the open spot in the zone, pick up the first down. And he's continued to cook. He's done a great job against this Hawaii defense all day today, and it's been a great spot for this UNLV offense, continuing to show the depth they have in their wide receiver core.
So now with less than 6 minutes to go, UNLV's offense is at their own 47 and marching down the field with a 28-point lead. Handoff, Glover, left side, has a gap, cuts back inside to the right side, and is tackled on the far numbers at the 40 inside Hawaii territory for a pickup of 13.
Well, Wyatt, me and you both know that Jalen Glover's B button definitely works, being able to pull out the spin move on that play to get to the second level and keep the chains moving for UNLV. But going back to before the game, we are in Las Vegas, and there are a lot of players on the field right now that are here and are from Las Vegas. And you got to think that Las Vegas has been able to prove and put out so much talent into the football world, and it's a testament to show how both of these teams have been able to be built by this city and put that talent on display.
Glover, the handoff again to the left side, trying to get the edge and able to do so for a gain of 6. Brought down at the 34. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the fourth.
For this UNLV team, there's going to be a lot of guys and a lot of recruits that are here at this game and are going to be very impressed with what they've seen and the impression Dan Mullen and this entire unit has put on this game. And now it's Cam Friel time with 5 minutes or 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game for him to be able to put hopefully 6 on for the Rebels.
And so that will end Anthony Calandria's night, 253 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Handoff to Lee there, just short of the 30-yard marker, right around the 31-yardage point. And with that, Calandria, 253 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 200 passing rating, He also complemented with 16 rushing yards as well.
And as I was saying before about UNLV and the recruits, they're going to need to reload next year. They're going to have a lot of big pieces of this team leaving the program. So getting these guys in that need more reps is going to be crucial for this team come next year.
And Friel, the carry to the right side, picks up the first down. The former Mountain West Freshman of the Year back in 2021 has had 10 career starts. The senior hailing from Kalau'uhu, Hawaii. And with that run there, that puts UNLV over 210 rushing yards on the night, which is more total yards. They have more rushing yards than the Rainbow Warriors have in total yards here. They have 211 rushing yards to Hawaii's 209 total.
Absolute dominance-wise, when you're looking at it, even going to the time of possession, for UNLV to be at 32 minutes of time of possession in this game compared to Hawaii's only 23 minutes and 40 seconds. They have absolutely played pretty much their best brand of football that we've seen from this team all year long against a Hawaii team that is no slouch. There was a reason why they beat the #1 team in the Mountain West, which is San Diego State. But they have come out today and put an absolute show on for these Rebel fans here on senior night, playing for those seniors and knowing how much this win not only means to every man involved in this game, but also to their head coach Dan Mullen, who is seeking to try to get into the Mountain West Conference Championship in his first year with the program.
Hawaii came into tonight riding a 4-game winning streak. And they come on the road, and they are expected to lose their 3rd road game of the season. Head coach Dan Mullen took a timeout, their 2nd of the half. Stop the clock here for a moment. 3:04 remains. 28-point lead for the Rebels. 1st and 10 at the Hawaii 28-yard line. And it just goes to show they're coming off the bye week where they went into it winning a huge game against San Diego State, the #1 team in the Mountain West, 38-6. And we see the ripple effect. You know, we joke all the time in combat sports, MMA math. If you have a little football math here, it's kind of a full circle moment. UNLV gets this win, so that means they should have beat Boise State, which they didn't, obviously, on the road. Lost 56-31 there. But nonetheless, a very impressive win here tonight by UNLV with less than 3 minutes to go here in the ball game. Ball spotted at the 27 after a 1-yard gain. And it's just absolute great display from both sides of the ball. It shows exactly the skill and the potential this team has running the ball, passing the ball, great defense, and great special teams.
I think this team fully showed their capabilities and what they can do across the board when it comes to offensively and defensively. And I think the more impressive point was the defense. I think they shut up a lot of people, holding this Hawaii team to only 209 yards after they were averaging over 400 yards of offense so far this year. And against a team the caliber of Hawaii with a quarterback like Micah Alejado, who was so highly touted and has been so successful, I think this team absolutely has to give themselves a pat on the back for the performance they've been able to have so far today in all three phases of football.
The 1-yard carry by the true freshman Cameron Williams brings us to the 2-minute timeout. UNLV leads 38-10. 2 minutes remain here in the ball game for the 9th Island Showdown here on Rebel Sports Net. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. You're listening to UNLV football as the Rebels lead 38-10 with 2 minutes to go. They have possession at the Hawaii 26-yard line. It is currently 3rd and 8. Starters have been subbed out. So now they will take over. Friel at quarterback, gonna keep it, runs to the left side, cuts back in, diving forward, and falls down near the 23-yard line, and it's gonna set up a 4th down here.
I like that smart play call just to run the football. They understand that UNLV, yes, they beat them, but they're gonna play tough, they're gonna play smart football. You have the student section lively. We have our Rebel reporters out there on the field enjoying the experience, happy to be here on senior night. And just a top-tier win here for the Rebels. They've been able to do a great job of keeping the vibes high and understanding the mentality. They'll look to get this 1st down and run this clock out here at Allegiant Stadium.
On 4th and 5, Friel, the keeper, to drain the clock as much as possible, will be stopped at the 21 and short of the line to gain. And so with 1 minute and 13 seconds, the Hawaii offense will come out and finish this ball game up as they trail by 28.
Right here, you have to give a kudos to Hawaii in their defense on that play. Still playing hard, you know, in a game where there's not a lot to play for at this point in the night. You still want to set the tone for what you can do and how you're going to respond for the rest of your season. But I have to like what I've seen from this UNLV team and how they've been able to do all of it all together. And now they get to walk out of this one victorious and hold their destiny in their hands. And all they have to do is finish off against them pups up north.
This is the third straight game that UNLV has won against Hawaii, which is the first time since 1979 when they did so from the span of 74 to the end of that decade. Run there continues to tick. 2-yard gain pickup for Hawaii. Less than a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. And if the score remains the same, 38-10, this will be the largest margin of victory in UNLV history against Hawaii.
And that's a big-time win right here for Dan Mullen in his first year against the University of Hawaii to come out here and have a dominant performance for the last time against their home fans, unless UNLV gets to host that Mountain West Championship here with their home fans in attendance.
And a keeper here from DeMarshuis Davis on the right side, tackled at the 35. The clock will continue to tick at 30 seconds.
Right here.
Once they get this ball snapped and set, And it's about a second difference between game clock and play clock, so they will have to run one more play. This is just a great win overall, a great team win for UNLV, and it could not have been more timely for this program here to come home, win this game against an opponent that has been on a 4-game winning streak. So the Golden Pineapple, the 9th Island Trophy, will stay in Las Vegas for the 3rd straight year. UNLV wins 38-10 over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
And UNLV will be able to take the Pineapple back and keep it here in the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, here in Nevada at the 9th Island. They're able to win the showdown in impressive fashion and keep that Mountain West Championship bid alive. You have to love the effort. Over 470 total offensive yards today and holding Hawaii to only 231, almost double in yards, over double in complete total yards of offense today. And the Rebels will be riding high against the University of Nevada, Reno next week.
One of the best team wins of the season and the largest margin of victory over Hawaii, 28-point win for the Rebels. They now go to 9-2 on the season and 5-2 in conference play. Johnny, we are seniors tonight. Seniors were celebrated on the field for the team, for all the cheers, and everybody here. It has been a pleasure all season long because this could be potentially our last home game here in Allegiant Stadium, calling for Rebel Sports Net together one final time inside Allegiant Stadium. Partner, it has been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, Wyatt, to be here, to be able to call the games with the amazing broadcast team that we've had here. So many blood, sweat, and tears to be in this position, and couldn't have gone out, especially in this game in the regular season, at home in a better way.
Job's not finished. UNLV goes on the road for the Fremont Cannon Silver State rivalry. They win big, 38-10 over Hawaii. One more game down. Special thank you to Program Director Kevin E. Martin for getting this show on the air. And for all of you at home, from everyone here at Rebel Sports Net, Wyatt, Touchet, Johnny Graves, thank you so much for tuning in. And for the final time, signing off from Allegiant Stadium, thank you so much. Have a good one. See you later, folks.